succinctly as possible.
Oh, so far?
Yeah. I
God,
mean,
that's
not
got
not
that's
without too
like
many
DM
spoilers, but
inspiration for like 3 weeks in a row.
I mean, I'm willing to do it if nobody wants to
Does,
jump in on it. But
do you want an in character summary or can it
I
be an
think for
out of
this one, it
character
should just be
summary?
like a omniscient narrator kind of deal. So,
All right, so it started out on a prison ship. Um, we all thought we were gonna die. A kraken attacked the prison ship. Um, with the assistance of some mermaids, the main characters of the story survived. To fall into the hands of a man named the Goblet, who tasked the group of non-heroes to go investigate a house with a potential rival gang or whatever. And there we got to the house. We lost someone level 1 to oh shit, what were they? Spiders, scorpions,
uh,
Sturges. Sturges?
centipedes.
centipedes.
Yeah.
Took down. We lost someone level 1. Investigated the house. Turns out there's this cult working out of it called the Scarlet Brotherhood. We and through by the skin of our teeth annihilated them. We hung up their bodies to leave a sign. You know, there was some red kraken paint. Then this cleric left us. We went to a festival. Um, at the festival, we met a wizard and a cute um, orca thing. Um, After that, we decided to kill the wizard, murder, of course, steal the spellbook. Nearly got caught for the murder. Relied on an individual by the name of, so I don't mess it up, Gellin Primewater, who became the group's new employee. We went hunting gnolls, killed the gnolls, went deeper into the swamp. We like did one of those dungeons 2 levels ahead of time. Cleared out this castle, went back to town. Gellin Primewater was like, "Hey, there's this boat. Go get the ship." We went. We commandeered a pirate ship. We kept half the crew, and we just arrived back in town.
Wow. All right. Very succinct. Very thorough. Go ahead and take DM inspiration. And yeah, when we last left off, you had just returned. You had returned to town. You had set your crew loose on the city of Saltmarsh with advanced pay, or essentially sign-on pay. They were all very happy about that. When we last left off, it was 10 a.m. It was the 27th day of chess. 66 degrees, rain, scattered thunderstorms. All right. I believe when we last left off, you guys were at the empty net.
Yep.
Krebs Shanker's joint. All right. So that might be a good place to insert our new party member because it seems to be a place where you guys find allies. So move you on over to the map. Not that we'll need it. There'll be no crazy fighting or anything, but for ambiance, whatever. So Bryn, uh, yeah, the empty net in the town of Saltmarsh, which is where your investigations have led you, as far as a low profile, surface dwelling portside city of decent enough size to have information, but small enough size to not draw too much attention to your efforts. So Saltmarsh kind of seemed like a good place to start. And from what you understand, the local merfolk and whatnot, um, they have been dealing with some Sahaugan issues and intrusions into their coastal territories. So all of this seemed to kind of work together to make for, yeah, checking out Saltmarsh might be the way to go. Now, you kind of asked around for local establishments where adventurers like to gather. Three of them were brought to your attention. One of them, the Wicker Goat, is sort of the cop bar. So that's where the local constabulary and the guards like to hang out, that kind of thing. One of them was pointed out to you. They had three. Let's see. I don't think they've ever bothered to go to the other one though. Let's see. Why can't I find this one? Is it? Oh man. Yeah, I'll have to get you the name on the second one. The second one is just sort of the average Joe. This is where like fishmongers and sailors go. They've got like a real good lobster wine. It's incredible that I can remember all these things about it except for the damn name. Okay, the snapping line. There we go. So the snapping line is where the local fishermen go. And then you heard about the empty net, and the empty net is sort of the scum or the hive of scum and villainy. Yeah, the definitely the cantina of this particular town, built out over the water on an elevated and abandoned dock. It has about as many diseased hookers as it does like diseased rats, just kind of scurrying about. It is Yeah, it is garbage. It is built out of like the old hull of like a busted ship. Just not a very nice place. So it's run by an individual named Kreb Shanker, and Kreb Shanker is he is a weaver of social connections. So he is a guy. He's a retired something or rather, and he is very good at getting people in touch with other like-minded individuals and setting up jobs for people. So that is Kreb Shanker and his lovely establishment, um, and that is where you find yourself. So I'll just plop your minion down there. I guess the question here is, oh, there we go. We got some HP now. Do you want Bryn to sort of like listen in for leads, or do you want to have already talked to Kreb about possibly joining a stronger force to sort of make some progress in the region?
Probably have already talked to Krebs
Okay.
since backstory kind of leads into me proactively looking.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. So, there you guys are. You're at the tavern. It is early in the day, but the crew, such as it is, has already begun taking over the tavern. They don't care that it's 10 o'clock in the morning. They are already hard drinking, ordering the richest, fattiest stews and meats, and they are just having a great time. Gambling has started up, all that jazz. So, you also brought the lizard folk with you, who two of them seem very uncomfortable, whereas the albino one seems very excited, in sort of an anthropologist kind of way. Like, behold the soft skins in their natural environment situation.
This place is disgusting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is definitely if she is going to go home and write a dissertation about the softskins, you are very poorly representing your entire species right now, to the lizard folk. But she seems into it. She seems, it doesn't seem to bother her at all. Nothing about it seems to disgust her or put her off. So she is eagerly looking around, and her presence does unsettle some of the locals. But this is a rowdy place, so they kind of just deal with it. All right. As you guys enter, as adventurers, you have the blood of heroes, of course, which allows you to survive things that a normal person would not. It allows you to get mauled by a shark and spit back out, and a couple hours later, you're good to go.
Struck by a lightning bolt.
Oh yeah, hit by lightning, all that stuff. Now the blood of heroes calls out to the blood of heroes. And so as you go into this establishment, you see this hulking plate mailed individual here. Can I get an establishing shot, Bryn? So if this was a TV show and your character was being introduced for the first time, what is the establishing shot here of your character?
It's pretty, keeping to him. Oh, sorry. Um, he's probably just kind of keeping to himself at the bar, surveilling stuff. It's pretty tall for the Triton side, which only means about like 5'5". Medium build, and like you said, he's got heavy armor on. Yeah, no real distinguishing characteristics through the armor, but
All right. Now, some of you have seen, I think, one Triton so far this campaign. Tritons in Faerun and to a broader extent, Toril, are quite rare. So they're kind of like merfolk that were like, wouldn't it be cooler if we just had legs? Right? That seems like a good idea. We could go on land and stuff. Rad. Yeah, so they have like some fish parts and they have some people parts. Often in exciting combinations. I guess like if you are familiar with like the creature of the Black Lagoon, they're like maybe a handsomer, like prettier version of one of those creatures.
Possibly.
Yeah. So they sort of have that going on. But yeah, they are quite rare within the world of Toril, and there's reasons for that. But because they're so rare, if you wanted to know more than just this is a aquatic person, you would definitely need to do either a nature check or an arcana check, skill check, to know if your character knows anything extra about these guys.
You said nature or arcana?
Yep, nature or arcana, because they are that special that they would kind of key off of either skill. All right, so 18, very good. Alvis rolled a D0 and got the highest number he could, which is cool. It's basically like a nat 20. Yeah, Pietro, I mean, fish person?
Enough.
Yeah, good enough. There are distinct differences between like a sea elf and a triton, for sure. A sea elf, you can look at them and you're like, that's definitely an elf that lives in the water. But a triton, there's a lot of things about them that are kind of, I guess, alien almost. That definitely kind of set them apart from like a standard humanoid race. So they are very unusual. Now, you guys did for a little while hang out with a water genasi, and water genasi are the people who have the bloodline of basically any sort of genie from the elemental plane of water. And they're sort of like tieflings. They're like a mixed bag. So you might just have a person whose hair always looks like they're underwater. You might have a person with like bluish or greenish skin. You might have a person who sounds like a murloc all the time. That you might have a person that's like almost completely a fish person, but still not. But Triton is distinct enough racially that they could be discerned from that. Jenna, uh, because of a lot of the work that your father did, I think you would definitely know about this race. They are natives to the elemental plane of water, and they are considered basically like the guardians of the elemental plane of water. So they very much like Captain America, lawful good. We need to do what's right. We have a sworn duty to protect the oceans and of all worlds from whatever evils might escape the elemental plane of water, and we also must protect the elemental plane of water from any evils birthed in other realms that might try to reach us, because the multiverse is of course constantly like dipping and overlapping and interwoven with each other. So the oceans of the abyss, for example, still can reach the elemental plane of water, because all water stems from the elemental plane of water. So these guys are like border patrol. They basically set up in any around all the major ins and outs of the elemental plane of water, usually on both sides of the planar rift or gate, and they try their best to control, um, immigration, as it were, between the different worlds. So they try to make sure that they stop evil from using the elemental plane of water to spread. So as a race, sort of like the hobgoblins are like bred for war, born on the battlefield. Like Triton's very militaristic, very orderly society. Like, like our race has a destiny, and that destiny is protecting the multiverse from harm. Like it's no small, like, someday you'll be a cop like your father. Like these guys definitely have a complex of like, we are like sentinels against the evils of the oceans, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't know how much of that you want to fill everybody else in on. At this,
Jenna's not going to tell anyone that.
yeah. Now
Doesn't wanna
this guy,
ruin anything with
though, he definitely looks a lot grittier, a lot harder. Like maybe he eats raw eggs for breakfast with the shells. You know what I'm saying? Like he's definitely got more of a hard boiled look to him. And you see, what would Bryn be drinking? Just kind of establish a little bit of character there.
Probably just some, I'm a veil, whatever local.
Okay, just a house special kind of deal.
Yeah, nothing
Okay.
fancy.
Yeah. They have a extremely sugared rum that they like to serve here. So they've Tits McGee here has poured you a big old like orange juice glass size of rum, and you can smell sausages and bacon cooking. They're getting that late breakfast ready, and the man that you spoke to, Krebs Shanker, who I guess you should probably just have a regular miniature like everybody else. But let's see. Do we have a regular Krebs Shanker miniature? No.
I thought he had one.
I guess he's a square boy. All right. So he comes out, and he kind of nods to you. He looks very tired, and he kind of nods to the individuals that came in with his eyebrows. He sort of indicates the group that just came through the double doors of the tavern. So can I get, for this new person and also just for the group at large, can we just get new establishing shots of everybody? What did everybody see when Garuda comes in? What do we got here?
What do you mean?
Yeah. That's you. It's your character.
Yeah, like what do you mean? What does everyone see?
Yeah, like what is, like, describe you entering the tavern after being away at sea, nearly dying in the Kraken's teeth, like the ordeals, flying through the storm. You've been through a lot in the last couple days. So like what is the sort of establishing shot of you walking into the empty net after all this time? Like
So
what
I
would we
got you.
see? Yeah.
I see Garuda walk in, look for a little boy. The little not that sort of stuff like weird. Look for the
We're not that kind of bad people.
yeah
This
that
dude?
dude yeah
Okay.
and
Tyweir?
yeah he walks over to him as my pets. I asked him, the pets are they okay? Still alive?
Yeah, I sir. They're okay. Kreb had me just reserved a double for y'all until further notice.
Okay, lead the way, and I will follow him to go see our pets. That'd be the first thing I did.
Okay. He looks over and he says, "Miss McGee, I'll be right back." And she just sort of grunts at him. All right. So he kind of leads you through so you can go see the pets. All right. So you go in and the pets are like, like pets playing poker kind of thing at the table.
Lol.
Yeah, they all look over at you. So, romantic parrot's love interest, orphan snake, gnome artificer, and adorable owl who recognizes you and wakes up. And you see
He's
that the others have
awake.
the others have cheated him terribly because he slept through the entire poker game. And he flies over to you, and sort of settles down, and then immediately goes back to sleep.
Oh. Yeah, I'll just play with Hedwig for a minute, look over the pets.
All right. Yeah, they seem to be in good shape. It seems that whoever told Kreb to reserve the room for you made sure that these aminals would be taken care of. Though the room does smell like a pet shop, like a dirty pet shop.
I'm okay with this.
Yeah,
I don't think we smell very good either.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Some
D&D.
Jedi,
It's
'cause
D&D. I
prestidigitation and
mean,
magic.
yeah. So, that's what do we see when Afra comes in?
Afra is short, skinny, fairly tomboyish, with short black hair, and seems to kind of always be smirking. And walks with a hair, and seems a bit more perceptive, perhaps, than your average adventurer. Seems to always be looking around and always taking in what's going on.
All right.
I'm gonna hold my arms out to Jack, the monkey, in a hug
right.
to see
Yeah.
if he will run and jump to me.
Yeah, he does, and begins searching your person for valuables. Yeah.
That's our Jack.
And he does stumble across your coin, and he seems very curious about it.
Jack, if you find anything out about that, let me know.
All right.
Or if you would like to be our new celestial warlock, that's okay too.
Yeah, he sort of bites it, licks it, hits it against the nearby table. You can kind of hear an angelic sort of voice in your head, Afra. It's like, oh, disgusting. Ugh. This is very rude that you're letting him do this to me. All right. So next to her, heading up towards the bar, you see a half orc. What else do we see?
Oh, that half orc also happens to be holding up another guy, but he's a big fellow. He's wiry. He wears two rapiers, one on each hip. He definitely has an air of someone who knows how to take care of business about him. But want to start the fight, but he'll finish it. And he's always sort of on the lookout. He's always keenly aware of his surroundings. He's got sort of some jewelry on his person, earrings in his rings, sort of a rakish attitude, long flowing hair. But he knows that he's sort of odd man out in this environment as well, being a half orc, and just doing what needs to be done.
All right. And the individual that you are helping support, what are we working with here?
Oh, sorry. Final bite of hash browns. Okay. Alvis. Oh, he's so pretty in that picture. He doesn't look like that anymore.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
We need to modify the art, I guess. Correct it through your words.
Through my words. So, Alvis is he visually he looks human, although he tends to wear his vest open, and astute observers will notice like he's got very small gills running up and down his torso. And the most obvious thing about him is the left side of his face is in absolute ruins. It looks like someone peeled the skin off of half of his. And then also, just to make it even better, he's missing his left eye, and he does not wear a patch or anything of any kind to make that, less hideous to look upon. And yeah, he also, particularly at this moment, seems to probably, I would say, timing wise, still be having the appearance of steaming. And really, it's there's a slight air of smokiness to him. And he has a very interesting network pattern of burns on his torso. Google lightning strike tattoos, and you'll see what he kind of looks like. He was just struck by lightning about 5 minutes ago out on the dock, so he's a little unsteady on his feet, but thankfully Pietro is leading me right to the bar. And
I know
that's where yes, and that is what Elvis's focus is on in this moment. Is definitely the bar. He's not armed or armored, as far as you can see. Like, he has a belt knife and such, but yeah, he doesn't. He's not a warrior or anything.
All right. And then there is a striking woman wearing a captain's hat.
Yes. She's also wearing a very long, nice-looking captain's coat. Into the astute observer, you would notice giant pockets, 3 of them full with what appear to be books. When she walks in, she's kind of like looking around. She's probably like, make sure Alvis gets some medical attention, because I know he just wants to drink. And she kind of just approaches the bar and tits McGee to make sure the crew and everyone has like their room set up. And she's kind of just like constantly eyeing her crew, looking for anyone to stab her in the back or get in a fight.
All right. So, with all that established, Afra, can you quickly jump over to secret meeting?
Yes. Yes, I can.
How does that work with Pietro and Alfred both being in the same spot?
They both get the secret meeting. It's not fair.
Yeah.
It's like
Just when they come back, we should all just be like, "So Pietro, what happened?"
oh man, dude. So did we decide what we're gonna name the boat?
I don't think we actually settled on anything.
Yeah, I think somebody said Eye of the
Look,
Storm.
if it's gotta be Jenna's box, it's gotta be Jenna's box. Like I
Yeah,
get
Jenna
it.
Box is one of them.
That one's terrible.
Everybody run! Set sail to full speed. The Jenna's box is approaching. I hear it'll eat you up all in one.
I hear it has teeth.
Oh.
All right. So, Kreb, looking sleepy as hell. He comes over to the bar, and he says, "Hey, it's nice to see you guys alive. Your familiar squad is doing great. A mutual friend of ours made sure to pay up for the whole month of chess. Your room. Should I extend that through, or are you guys good now?"
Whole month, you say?
Yeah, but I mean, we're at the tail end of it right now. There's only like 3 days left.
Ask me in 3 days, friend.
Well, if I don't see you in 3 days, I guess I'll be opening up my own pet shop. And he gives you a big smile.
I mean, we got a boat. They can live on the boat.
There you go.
Yeah, but how quickly
You
can we
have
get the
a
boat fixed?
That's exciting news, right? Having your own boat. That's great.
Chef.
So, I know that you guys, and he kind of looks over at the Triton and he kind of like whispers it a little bit lower, burn through people kind of quick. So I thought, I also knew that you were tough up and comers, and that you were involved in some shenanigans. So I did the liberty of telling this fine gentleman down here that you might be his best bet to explore the region a little bit better. So he's already provided me some compensation for my efforts, which I will gladly trickle down to y'all if you agree to this. But basically, he just needs some toughs to kind of show him the ropes. This is his first time on land, so
Well, if you
yeah.
think he would be a good fit, I mean, you know how we operate.
Well, I mean, I think at first this would be more like a client situation. Like he needs people to kind of, I don't want to say keep him out of trouble, but help him find the trouble that he's trying to get into and stay out of the trouble that he's not trying to get into. If you follow me.
And Aphra's gonna narrow her eyes a little bit at the newcomer and say, You do look like a man on a mission." Feeling off, hoping for an answer.
Yeah, I guess Brent slowly turn around and say, yeah, I heard you were all on a mission, and I thought I could tag along. I'm looking for some smuggling, and I heard running with you would be the best way to find them.
All right.
And what happens?
Sorry.
What happens when you do find them? Are you going to vanish at that point, or are you in it for the long haul?
At this point, there's no turning back. I've already been basically banished from my order and my unit, so I'm looking for a new life for myself.
Oh, banished, you say? Well, we all have our histories. What type of work you into? What skills? Do you have a skill set?
Quite good at sailing boats. Known to sling some spells and can take a good hit.
Hey, that sounds perfect to
You look,
me.
Would you consider yourself a loyal man?
I would. I would also consider myself a vengeful man. So if you're looking to use me and then just off me, maybe this isn't the right proposition.
I mean, I'm looking to use everyone, sweetie. Let's be honest.
Everyone would kind of chuckle and say, that's the answer I like to hear.
And
Why,
then Krebs kind of claps his hands together and he says, "Look at that. Another amazing connection. I'm just so good at my job. All right. Well, sounds like you guys have it all sorted out. I'm going to bed." And he heads back inside the back area of the establishment.
Alvis turns to Jenny and goes, "Oh, no one's asked the new guy the most important question. How's he swim in all that armor?"
That's a pretty good question.
Maybe he walks.
Jenna just kind of looks at him like, expectingly.
Yeah, Bryn, that's sort of a ridiculous question. Because all like everybody in your order wears like super badass like heavy armor, like it's no thing. So yeah, you're not really sure how somebody couldn't swim in heavy armor.
Yeah, I'd probably just look at the orc and say, I guess some people are just born with the strength to deal with what they have to do.
Whoa,
And
now I know I'm missing half my face, but I ain't no orc.
Oh, Miss Langugo. I mean, I don't mean to take offense, but are you calling me ugly?
And sensing a brawl, this barmaid is going to stop flirting and sort of strategically go check on other tables. Yeah.
Oh, Albus is completely distracted now because she was so pretty.
All right. And then Tits McGee slams a platter down between the two of you full of big, fat boiled sausages, overcooked bacon, and some runny eggs.
That sounds good.
Yeah. She looks at both of you and she grunts and she says, yeah, orders up. And top you off as she looks at your drinks.
Albus is just gonna motion for her to put a second drink in front of him.
All right.
And it was a long, busy night. So Pietro's gonna pile up a plate of all this greasy goodness in front of him and start chowing down.
Okay. So you guys heard this Triton utter the word Sahaugen. Now, I think you've heard the word dropped once or twice.
Yeah, the lizard folk said they were
Yeah,
having issues with
the
Zelda.
lizard folk were also dealing with Sahaugen. So this would be a second sort of ping on bright blue bold font Sahaugen, kind of coming up in conversation. All right. So you guys sort of eat and stare at each other as you kind of decide what to do next. And at some point, a youngster comes in. The youngster seems to be well dressed, well mannered, but not so well dressed that they would stand out too much for being here. Just not like orphan gutter trash kind of deal. And the kid sort of looks at everybody here, and here we go. Yeah, notices you guys and heads over to Afra and says, "Are you Afra?"
I am. Who
Ah,
are you?
a person you know well would like to sup with you this evening, and I was sent to remind you of that appointment.
Yes. Our erstwhile patron.
Yes. So, please know that this is your formal invitation to dinner, and please be on time, ma'am.
We will. No need to worry.
Do you have any return messages or anything that you need, madam?
I'll kiss his cheek and say, "Message, kiddo." Pat his head and shoo him out the door.
All right.
Is that like
he rushes
Primer
off.
Servant Boy?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
So
kinky.
the lizard folk, they just are still sort of standing awkwardly by the door. This one is taking in all the sights. This thing is sleeping coiled inside the hood of her robes around her neck area, and these two are just looking anxious.
I'll walk over to them.
Okay.
And I'll say, ship needs repairs. It will take most of a day, if not more, to see that done. So we are stuck here for the time being.
So I'm gonna take a day.
My crew has some errands to run, so We can speak to the proprietor here and arrange rooms for you, or we may leave you to your own devices. However you prefer.
This one is not feeling particularly welcome in the human hive. Perhaps there is a place we could stay in safety to keep us out of trouble and trouble from finding us.
Suppose we could take you to our patron. I have
This
nothing,
one
guys.
makes like a roaring hissing noise and motions at the circle, the fighting pit. And the albino one says to you,
That one wishes to know if this is a pit for fighting.
I believe it is, good sir.
Pietro sort of perks up his ears at that roar hiss, not knowing what's going on, and sort of looks back and gives raises his eyebrow at Afra.
Would it be culturally appropriate for that one to do battle in the pit? He is restless and has not slain anything in a good while.
Well, no murder in the pit.
Perhaps if he were to exercise its body, that one would be more at ease.
I believe it is culturally appropriate. However, at this time of the day, you may not be able to find an opponent. You may need to wait until later on.
this one makes a sort of a low rumbling sound and inflates its throat sac. And she says,
And that one is curious what it must do to eat that thing over there.
Yes, that is not culturally appropriate.
I figured.
My apologies, good sir.
she explains to him, and he makes a sad face.
Regardless, all three of these
And she motions to herself.
hunger greatly. We notice that you eat the swill from the bowls. We too would partake of this. How do we go about doing so?
Well, if Alvis and Pietro have left anything behind, I will grab the platter of food.
I didn't eat all of it. Come on.
And I will bring it over to them.
Oh yeah,
And Elvis is working to the liquid diet.
whoever's working in the
Jenna's
kitchen,
just gonna
yeah,
order some more food from Tits McGee for the lizard folk.
Yeah, she's just bringing out platter after platter of food. Because apparently now that you're on a tab, a wealthy person's tab, Kreb told her to give you everything you wanted.
Eat.
Yeah, and so I'm sure that won't have any consequences.
I know,
So
Fred.
yeah, so she's just kind of shuttling food out from the kitchens. And as the door kind of opens and closes, you can kind of see in the kitchen. It's a pretty big operation in there. They got kitchen crew that's working and getting all that food out. So the four of them, if you count her little familiar type creature, make their way over to the table, and trying to blend in. They sit down at the table and they begin ravenously eating the food. And these guys could put away some crazy amounts of food. Yeah. So like they just like as the platters are laid down, they just lift them up like with both hands and just like let it slide into their mouths. Yeah.
Garfield style.
Right. Yeah, exactly. They eat like Garfield before he became an Eldritch horror. So yeah. So that's what's going on down there. Everyone seems amazed. The people from your crew, I mean, they've seen these guys do worse, so they kind of shrug. But again, the relations between the local people of Saltmarsh and the local people of that are the lizard folk are very strained. So it's very much like early North American relations with like Native Americans kind of deal. Like the lizard folk were here first. They sort of tolerate the people of Saltmarsh, and they found that the best way to coexist with them is to leave them alone. And then the people of Saltmarsh found that the best way to coexist with the lizard folk was to also leave them alone. So they generally don't mingle too much. So this is a very interesting situation for them.
Yeah, Jenna's gonna go to Bloody Bjorn and Toothpick Tate, and she's
Mhm.
gonna ask them to watch over those three, and to make sure that they don't get into any trouble, or they'll be in trouble, and to make
Toothpick
sure that
Tate flicks his toothpick and says,
Oh, I know. They're our payday. Don't worry, I'll keep a close eye on them.
thank you, lad.
and Bloody Bjorn kind of gives Toothpick Tate a sour look, and he nods at you and says,
Aye, Captain.
One of them looked fancy to fight in the pit. Perhaps you could take one of them on for sport, Bjorn.
It would make for a fun afternoon. As soon as the ship's ready, I request permission to return to it.
Of course.
all right. So, your lizard folks seem to be all right. Tyweir asks you, with your lizard folk, you want them to just go in the double when they need some privacy?
Sure.
Isn't that where the pets are?
That's a
No,
hell
they're
to
okay.
no. Yeah.
Okay.
Are our pets on a double
Get
double?
them their own. Just get them their own room.
Oh, okay. I'll do that, and I'll just add it to your ever expanding tab. And he gives you a smile. They'll want for nothing.
Yes, expensive.
And as you say that, this one cries out,
We have consumed all the protein. Bring more. We are ravenous. It has been many hours since we consumed the corpse of a dwarf pirate.
No tact.
and everyone gets real quiet. And Tits McGee, a dwarf herself, scowls a bit, and then goes to the kitchen and says,
You're gonna have to slaughter another pig. It's gonna be a busy day.
all right. So you guys have the town of Saltmarsh before you. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning. What is the plan? You have this new ally. Kreb has essentially paid each of you 50 gold in deep sea pearls to be this guy's guide and escort for the contract that was sort of spoken off camera was basically for the next 10 days. You are to kind of help this guy acclimate to the shoreline, and if possible, he wants to investigate whatever's going on with Sahaugan activity in the area. And your 50 gold and deep sea pearls is sort of your trickle down payment that he had made to Kreb Schenker.
Sounds good.
Okay, so our kind of to-do list, our list of side quests, if you will, is that we have to meet with night at 7 to
We need to do that trade. That's okay.
we need to go fetch Willie at some point, and we need to get the lizard folk and the cargo to their people, I guess. Am I missing anything?
I can't think of anything. Sounds good to me, Afro.
There really wasn't anything Jenna was interested in doing until the Prime water meeting, especially after we converted the Electrum.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you guys wanted to, we could just time skip ahead, basically.
Yeah, Jen is gonna spend the time like getting a drink with the crew and getting to know everyone and letting them get to know her a bit.
Okay.
Pietro wants to wrestle with that lizard person.
Oh man, you want to actually wrestle? You don't? You want to like?
Yeah, let's do this.
Yeah. All right.
Alvis fancies himself a ladies' man, although he's probably not. But
Okay.
my thing's in the chat. I assume he's going now for a long rest.
Let's see.
Realism, they're just playing with the pets, all of them, just having the best time of his life.
Yeah. So
For
at least,
6
at
hours?
least,
Yeah,
at
oh,
least
yeah.
Shellbroken, who has a soft spot in her heart for broken men. She definitely has an interest. So she's the woman that patched you up the last time you were horribly disfigured.
Ah.
All right.
Also, Afra is going to practice a bit with Jack the monkey to see if she can teach him how to pickpockets again. She's just going to practice on the crew members.
All right. Fair enough.
I don't think they're gonna like that.
Okay. Jack is an unruly monkey, to be sure. But you know, you spend time working with them, and you don't feel like it was time wasted.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say time well spent.
I mean, that's totally personal. You know, decision on your part, but yeah, it. You know, you feel like something may have sunk in there. You look at his excited face and his intelligent eyes, and you're pretty sure that something made it in.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So this one introduces your opponent to you as that one. You're sure they have names, but they don't seem to care too much for names, or really, you know, use them very much. He a big boy. Yeah, he's probably about 350 pounds.
Right, he's got some weight on me.
Yeah, he's got some weight. Now, the easiest way to do this is so that everybody isn't, you know, watching this forever, is you can just sort of do a best 2 out of 3 checks on him. Or we can actually have you guys fight it out if everybody wants to see how that goes. Neither of you is a barbarian, so we don't have to worry about this taking up the rest of our lives. So yeah, pro tip: if you are ever DMing, do not allow 2 barbarians to punch each other to death. It is not a good.
That will take forever.
Yeah. So yeah, that is the full body shot of these lizard folk. That is what you're kind of dealing with.
And Pietro was
And-
like, yeah, let me go fight this thing in a ring.
Yeah, I guess so. Let's see. Good
Jenna
for
looks
him.
at Petro like, "Don't fucking lose and embarrass us."
All right, Petro. Yeah, according to Kobold Fight Club, this is an easy fight for you. Do you wanna fight it out like for reals, or do you just want to try to best of 3 skill checks him?
Let's fight it out for reals.
Oh, all right. Let's see how it goes. Go ahead and roll into initiative. Anybody that wants to cheat or in other way try to influence this fight, please roll into initiative as well. To roll into initiative, you select your miniature, and then there are 3 different buttons up top that will appear in the huge list of buttons: initiative, initiative advantage, and initiative disadvantage. So you would just use the appropriate one. Pietro, you gonna roll in? There we go. All right. I guess the 2 of you sort of like face off against each other for quite a while before realizing that it is in fact time to fight each other. The rules of the ring are simple. Don't kill anybody because it's a pain to cover up murders. If the person goes unconscious, obviously they have lost. If a person cries out, that the uncle essentially, they have forfeit and it is over. You need to try your best to stay in the ring, but you certainly don't lose for a ring out. And looking at the condition of the gravel fighting pit, you definitely want to avoid getting hepatitis. So hopefully you are up on your shots. You can consider
those again?
the 9 spaces of the ring are definitely considered difficult terrain because it
Okay.
is uneven, full of gravel. It is also very gross. All right, Petro. You guys are just doing unarmed fisticuffs here, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Bold move. All right. Kobold Fight Club says this is a very hard fight now. All right. Give it your best shot, Pietro. What are you gonna do?
Just roll a d20.
Yeah, just roll a d20.
Yeah. So if you're attacking unarmed and you're not like a monk or you don't have natural weapons, you would actually just click on your strength score and it would just roll a strength check for you
Okay.
because you don't have proficiency essentially, unless you
Oh,
have
that's my
yeah.
no, Afra does not want to fight the lizard man.
Yeah, so like on your character sheet, if you mouse over the word strength, it'll turn red.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, and then if you click it, woof. All right. So you kind of move forward through the gravel, and I don't know, you doing like you punching, you kicking? What's your fighting style when you are unarmed?
I guess I'll do some boxing.
All right.
Up and do a couple blows to the face if I can.
Yeah, that one stands still and allows you to beat on his body. None of the attacks go through his natural armor. All right. Then he he spreads his arms akimbo. He lets out a mighty roar. And he bites you. Or tries to. 17 for 5.
That goes through.
All right. And then he is going to use his second attack to try and grapple you. But he only got a 5. So you could do athletics or acrobatics to avoid being grappled.
His athletics is a +6, so that is impossible.
So you chill touching this dude, or is that something that you're up to in the bedroom? Is that
that was sorry. We'll just assume that's some freaky stuff going on upstairs. Please disregard.
Well, you hit her. You definitely hit her, or yourself. I'm not sure what's going on.
I mean, the hand chokes the neck, right? I mean, isn't that the secondary effect?
It is necrotic damage,
yeah.
despite the spell. So, all right. So yeah, go ahead, Pietro. Give me a athletics or acrobatics to try to avoid the attacks. All right, yeah, you kind of pull back as he tries to grab you. All right, what is your move?
All right, well, enough playing around. I'm gonna go for him.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Again, he stands there and he allows you to beat on him with your tiny fists.
You get 2 attacks, don't you? You have extra attack.
He's only
level 5.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, no, that doesn't happen yet.
Yeah, never mind.
This is what you get for playing around with stuff.
Yeah.
All right. He is going to try and bite you. For 6.
Jesus.
And he will try and grapple you again. 16. All right, so give me an athletics or a acrobatics to try to avoid him grappling you. All right, he has grabbed you and is just gnawing on you now. He's sort of lifting you up off the ground and sort of feeding you into the wood chipper that is his mouth.
Jesus.
All right, your turn, Pietro.
Pietro, have you hit him yet?
These guys a fucking tank.
He also is like not hitting their. It's like the jabs, the like quick hit, and the jabs aren't working.
Fuck this! I'm gonna stab him in the eye with my thumb.
All right. Yeah, that is a hit. And your strength score is 18, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you just did 1 + 4. You did 5 points of damage to his eye. And his mouth opens wide in surprise, and he lets out like a croaking hiss of pain. He closes both eyelids, both sets of eyelids around his eye, and you just see that a little blood is kind of coming from the eye. And he's very upset with you.
He was trying to eat me.
All right. I guess his turn. He is going to try to force you to the ground now. But he only got a 10. So give me an athletics or acrobatics to avoid being forced to the mat. All right. All right. So he's not able to push you down, but he still got you grappled, and he's going to try to bite you again. 11 though doesn't hit. Pedro, you're up.
Bite him! Bite him!
No, I've got the damage
Alvis
to that
screams
eye,
from
and
the
I'm
bedroom.
railing off.
All right, yeah, again, and you kind of chomp down with those orc tusks, I guess, and it just tastes swampy. All right, back to him. Yeah, he's gonna try to push you down again. That's an 8. I think you'll be fine. Go ahead, and give me an athletics check. All right, and he'll try to bite you again. It's not a very complicated fight. 4 more damage.
That
God,
hits.
he's rolling bullets.
That's not good.
All right. You could see people are kind of cheering because you're getting eaten alive, and that's kind of exciting. This dog is like just got the zoomies. He's just running around in circles, barking. He's so excited about what's happening. Yeah, you continue to gently slap and caress him all over his face area. Nothing seems to hit him.
I don't understand.
I think that 13's the highest you've rolled.
All right, he's gonna try to push you down to the mat. So give me an athletics check. Oh yeah. So he kind of jumps in the air and spins with you, and then just sort of Zangief
Oh God.
yeah, pile drivers you into the gravel, and he now has you pinned and prone on the ground. He will now bite with advantage. That's a 21 for 6.
Lose too.
Yeah, Bryn, this orc has a lot of spirit, but you're not sure why he would attack a naturally armored, naturally equipped creature without any weapons. You thought you were going to see some of this monk stuff that you've heard about, but there was no monk stuff to be seen.
Yeah, Bryn would kind of holler out, this is a very confusing choice. Is there any way I could silently kind of sneakily cast Bless on Pietro?
You would do a sleight of hand to do so, to see if you could kind of subtly cast the spell. Everyone's attention definitely seems to be on this orc who's about to be eaten alive. So this would be an opportunity to try and do that.
Oof.
Now keep in mind that so a sleight of hand 11. Oof. A lot of people I don't think would notice, but this one noticed. She has a very good passive perception. So she sees that you have done something to influence the fight, and she begins to waddle over towards you. Adds herself to the initiative. And she basically just says,
This one is curious, Sea Dweller. Is this part of the custom to assist with the magic?
Since I don't really have a hand in this fight, I just thought it would make things a little more interesting. That one
Then
looks
I
like he
would
can
also
handle it.
like to make things interesting as well. Do you think that would be all right?
She fireballs the pit.
Just if it's between the two of us, but I think we can leave them to fight now. Maybe it's a little more balanced.
Perhaps. But watch, this will be, as your people and these other surface dwellers would say, entertaining.
And she casts a spell, and he enlarges.
Oh fuck! Well, help me! I can fail on my own.
But you are now blessed, so you have a 1d4 bonus to saving throws and attack rolls. So
Jenna-
Pietro, you're up.
Well, Jenna's gonna use the opportunity of her casting a spell to cast her own spell
Okay.
suggestion onto this one,
Okay.
and the suggestion's gonna be lose but look like you're trying.
All right. All right. He will make his wisdom save.
He made it.
All right. I'll add you into initiative there, though. Right after Joko or Juko. There we go. All right, Pietro, you're up.
Because I'm now blessed.
Hashtag blessed. Yep.
Yes. Should I stop just clicking on the strength, or should I roll something
Oh no,
different?
you keep using strength, but now you get to add a D4 to them.
Okay. So then I click strength and then roll a separate D4.
Correct. Or you could do a global modifier if you want, but either one works. Here, I'll add a global modifier for you real quick.
Yeah, the other guy didn't win the pits either. Just thought I'd tell you. Pietro.
Yeah, our last.
All right, go for it. I think it should add
lost too.
blessed to your.
So
strength check
just
when you do it.
just go and roll a D20. Like
Well, no,
normal?
you just click strength again, like you've been doing.
All right, I'm still gonna keep trying to wail on that weak spot in the eye.
Okay. It didn't add your bless. Oh well. So just use the dice roller to do a D4. And remember, the dice roller is off on the left.
My
Ooh,
God.
a 7. Yeah. So with your face buried in the rocks, and this now, let's see, his weight increases by, gosh, it's quite a bit. I think it's by 4. So he now weighs like 1,500 pounds or so.
Oh my God. How am I not dead? Just from the crushing weight.
Yeah, wow. Its weight is multiplied by 8. My bad. So 350 times 8 is how much this thing weighs now.
2,700 pounds.
2,700.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
2,700 pounds of Gator is now pressing down on you, but hashtag bless. All right, so you're prone, which your attack would have been at disadvantage anyways from being prone. You are grappled, so you can't move. The lizard folk is going to try to bite you with advantage. 19 is a hit, and then he gets to add extra damage because he's a big boy now, but it's only an extra 1d4. So 5 points of damage, and then he will just try and press down on you with his weight. So this is just a strength attack, a 21. So that would be 3 damage plus another 1d4 from his massive size. So 5 more damage. And he's just letting out happy hissing grunts as he does so. All right. Joko or Juko, she seems very happy, and she elbows you as she's seen the surface dwellers do, and you hear sort of a clank clank as she elbows you, and she says,
Do you see how entertained they are? We are good at this, you see? We make a great team, Deep Dweller.
all right. You're actually up before her, Bryn. Did you want to do anything else?
No, I feel like I've probably done enough.
Okay.
Unless you can surreptitiously heal me.
Deanna, did you want to do anything else? Or you just want to let this sort of end?
I'm gonna go for this suggestion one more time.
Okay. It's got to make a wisdom saving throw.
And I'm also trying to do this so no one notices. So did you want to slide a hand?
Well, you are going to be making a suggestion loud enough for him to hear, right?
Truth.
Yeah.
But like they're just gonna hear me say it. Not. I don't want them to see me
Right.
cast a spell.
So what's your DC?
It's a 14.
So
He
he
passed.
made it anyways. So all right, Pietro, you're up. It's looking grim, man.
So
But you did get that hit in on the eye.
I'm gonna try and from where I'm at. I guess shot to the groin.
Okay. So you kind of like grind your face through the blood-soaked hepatitis gravel, and as your face kind of surfaces, you see his mighty cloaca hovering above you, and you kick out with everything you have for that groin area. Okay, give me a strength check. An 11, but you get to add a D4 to it. Oh, yeah. So you kind of kick, and it sort of just dunk off of his, 2,000 plus pounds of meat. And yeah, you cannot move. You have a bonus action you could use, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, is what you want to do.
I mean, I don't know. You could also tap out if you wanted to, but
Bonus
the
action.
whole
forfeit.
crew is watching you.
Oh, I'm gonna have to do this the hard way. Yeah, I'm gonna do use second wind.
Second wind. Okay. You dig deep. You dig real deep. You dig deep into part of your character backstory where you had to overcome adversity, and you get back. Nice. 9 plus 4, right? So 13
level.
level. Yeah.
Jenna's gonna free action. Get out of that pin.
All right. This one, or sorry, that one who is fighting you, is pleased that you have somehow gotten a second wind and this can keep going. He's gonna, with advantage, try to bite you. Adds a D4 to it.
That hits.
So 6 points of damage. And then he's just going to keep crushing you. So let's see how that goes. Yeah, 21. So this is a D4 plus 3. So 7 more damage.
I'm right back where I was.
All right. Bryn, or anyone else that wants to jump in since it's the top of the round here.
Yeah, can I walk down there with a Hegwit and a snake?
You gonna snipe the lizard in the pit?
Can I
Alright.
just walk down there? I will walk. I'm upstairs chilling with the animals, but I hear yelling, so I'm like, oh, let's
Okay.
go check and see what's going on. I'm gonna leave the cat and the bird a little privacy.
All right. Dr. Doolittle comes out because you hear all the cheering and screaming.
Yeah, and I walk over there.
Yeah, hookers have come in off the street. For anybody that may or may not look like or have family members that resemble this miniature, I'm sorry, but that's my default scary hooker miniature. Yeah, and everybody is just cheering for this incredible fight, and you can hear the floor just groaning under the weight of this guy's 2,000 plus pounds, and it's already got a gravel pit here on an elevated platform. So some people are getting a little nervous about the structural integrity of the establishment.
I look over at Jenna and be like, yeah, our last guy fought in pits didn't do well either.
All right, you gonna do
Alright.
anything else, or are you just gonna spectate here?
Is there any way I
Yeah, I'm gonna ready a bow. I'm not gonna try to look like I'm like about to shoot at this motherfucker. But if he like tries to like eat Pietro just because you fucking beat him, I'm gonna shoot him.
Yeah, that's a safe move.
Yeah,
All
so
right,
I'm
so
just
you're gonna
gonna-
ready an action in case he tries to get eaten. Bryn,
Yeah.
what were you saying while this was going on?
is there any way I could like look at and kind of pat him on the back in like a jokingly way, but hard enough to be an unarmed melee?
Oh,
Like
trying
his
to disrupt concentration. Gotcha. Yeah, you could certainly try. You could do a this would either be deception, probably be deception. Yeah, to see if you could sell the you're just too into giving back pats to realize that you were yeah. So go
blow
ahead
her
and give me a
back
deception
out.
check.
I'll add that to my flaws section.
Oh yeah. So with sort of a hearty chuckle at her chuckle, you just pound her for 1 point of damage, and she will need to make a saving throw. All right. So let's see. She's got to do a Constitution. DC is 10. So she just makes it. She just makes it.
Alright. I was
All
gonna
right.
cure wounds, but I forgot that was touch, so
And she looks to you and says, "Ah, this one is tough." And she hits you back, but not to damage or anything. Just because she comes from a pretty rowdy culture, so it's not the first time she's taken a point of damage from a backbat.
Too late though.
She has 6 brothers, 6 older brothers. I don't learn defenders.
Yeah. Oh well, she had 11, but she ate 4 of them, and one of them ran away. So all right.
I would
Jenna,
also like to
Oh,
to go
okay.
ahead. I'm
Afra's gonna
gonna
jump in on
cast
this.
X on the lizard man to give him disadvantage on strength checks.
Okay. He's got to make a saving throw, right? Charisma?
Actually, no.
Oh no,
It's
right. Because
it's like
a
a warlock
hex.
charisma.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. Well, he definitely knows that he's hexed. Yeah. So he, because there's like a spooky feeling when you're hexed, and he's just kind of looking around as he gnaws on this dwarf, kind of trying to figure out why that happened. So give me a sleight of hand to see if anybody notices this foul play here.
Could I deception instead? Any chance?
Oh no, this is definitely hiding the whole process. Yeah, you're trying to be okay. So you're kind of pushing your way through the crowd, trying to get a better view, and you use this sort of stout wall of meat and shell armor to block view from the albino lizard folk. And yeah, you managed to hex him. All right, Jenna, did you want to do anything, or are you just gonna let this go?
Jenna's gonna walk to the bar, seeming disinterested,
Okay.
and she's gonna put her hands underneath the bar and look back real quick and frostbite in his mouth. When he bites in on Petro, it's gonna get real cold in his mouth.
All right, he's got to try a Constitution save. Let's see how it goes. Oh yeah, he flubs it and takes 2 points of cold damage, and he has disadvantage to his next attack roll. All right,
You can try and
Petro.
break the grapple and get up.
Okay,
Because he has disadvantage on strength.
All right, I'm gonna try and get out of this grapple because I just need to get out from under this fucker.
All right, you are going to try to get out of the grapple. Go for it. He has disadvantage to this.
Okay, and that's a strength.
Yeah, so you're trying to beat a 13 with your acrobatics.
Acrobatics?
No, sorry. Acrobatics or athletics, your choice.
All right, so I can just say, like, well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh no, an 11. So yeah, even with his disadvantage.
Wait, he's blessed.
Oh yeah, you get to add. You
you're
get to add
blessed.
well,
No,
blessed
that's
doesn't do
saving
skill
throws, it's
checks
saving
though.
throws, it's
Yeah,
saving
saving throws
throws.
and attack rolls. So you try to break free, but there's 2,000 pounds of pressure forcing you into
My
the
blessing
ground.
doesn't help here?
No, blessed does not affect. That would be guidance. What you're looking for a skill check. So, do you have a bonus action? Otherwise, you are spent already.
I don't really.
All right. He is going to try and smoosh you. So here we go. Oof. Does the 16 still hit?
No.
No, 16 does not hit.
17 by AC.
All right. So he misses with the press, and then he's going to try the bite. Let's see. Here we go. No, it does not hit either.
Actually, that's a natural one because he's got disadvantage on his next attack.
Yeah, but he did his strength attack first, so he'd have double disadvantage on that one. Mwahahaha. You see how I did that? Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
aw.
It's like this guy fights for a living. It's crazy. All right, but you managed to survive another round. Okay. So that brings us to Bryn. Anything else?
I guess I'll try and cast command on
Oh, geez.
Albino.
Wow.
What?
All right.
Wait, what?
What are you gonna command her? What are you gonna command her to do, though?
This was supposed to build relations with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if I get my ass kicked, that's on me. But don't piss her off.
Uh,
I mean,
fuck. Sleep.
You do another backsplash.
all right, you're gonna command her to sleep. This is a wisdom saving throw, correct? On command.
Yes,
All right.
13.
There we go. All right. 13, you said?
Yes.
All right. She makes it, and she realizes that you were casting meanness spells. This is not okay. She says,
This one is confused. Is the fight everyone here? Is that
No.
what is happening?
Oh
You
no.
look tired. I was trying to suggest you take a nap.
Afra's standing behind him. She's gonna say, disregard this one, please. He is of the sea people and he does not understand our customs, and is going to turn around and glare.
okay. You may attempt a persuasion check because what you said is definitely not a lie because he is not of this society. He doesn't understand. Okay, that's pretty good. And she says,
I am just confused. If this was a battle of many, then we should have all involved. Yes.
No, it is not a battle of many. It is just a battle of two, and
They're boons.
Bryn will also
Uh,
take his
Tell
chance
them to
to.
both drop their spells.
Groot,
I was
are
about to
you
say.
holding?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I can say, both of you drop your spells.
Wait. So we are not to use spells because
No.
I saw there was a flash of blue light and frost formed all over my ally's mouth. So this one was confused. I thought everyone could participate if they had
It
magic.
was on the inside of his
Yes,
mouth.
that was our that was this friend. I am now explaining to him as well as you that he cannot use spells.
This one
I can make a
senses.
deception if you would like.
All right, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I'm blaming it all on our paladin friend. Oh, damn it.
Okay. She narrows those orange eyes at you and says,
This one feels that you are playing unfairly.
How about we just stop playing then? How about everyone we should just get out the pit? So.
I know it's out of turn order, but can I just tell her I'll drop my spell if she drops hers?
this one.
And I'll walk away to the bar.
Okay. She kind of eyes you and sees you sort of concentrating still. Do you drop your concentration?
Yes.
All right. All right. She says,
This one will also end her spell. Simply because I worry the structure is soon to be destroyed.
and you see him down to his normal size. And then she says,
This one will watch carefully, and if any foul play is afoot, this one will act.
all right. Jenna, you're up.
Oh, Jenna's ordering a couple shots of whiskey, fire whiskey.
All right.
Garuda, Afra, come get a drink.
Miss McGee says,
I'll be adding that to your tab then.
And she just keeps a head count of all of the money they're making today. All right. Afra, you kind of did your piece already with all them checks. Pietro, he's back to normal, but you feel whatever strange blessing was upon you has faded. You are still prone.
Right.
You are still grappled.
All right. Have I heard any of this stuff going on, or am I
Yeah,
just
I
too
mean it's off
focused
to
on
the
it?
side through the press of this creature and the gravel and the screams of everyone around you. You do hear them loudly shouting at each other.
Okay. I was gonna fight this out as far as I could, but
Yeah.
I don't want us. I don't want us to ruin our diplomatic status. I just thought this was gonna be a fun fight, and I'm getting my ass kicked. So I'm
Right.
just gonna. I'm tapping out just to end it.
All right. So you kind of tap out.
Yeah.
Okay. This one is very hungry. And was probably going to try to eat you. So it's probably for the best. So
It's definitely for
yeah.
the best.
Yeah, she
'Cause-
shouts out.
Definitely
She
for the
shouts
best.
out in Draconic.
You have won. You are victorious. Desithru, do not eat him. It would be poor form.
And Desithru just kind of lets out a low grunt of displeasure. And like sort of walks out of the ring. And everyone kind of cheers, and she is trying to encourage him.
No, this is good. You have won and impressed the Softskins with your battle prowess.
And that is that.
I gotta help
So yeah,
Pietro up.
this doggo come, he starts licking you. He wants to make sure that you're okay. He's an emotional support dog. So
You fought good, Pietro.
Garuda, do not lie to me. I fought like shit.
You
Next time I
said
get a
it.
stupid idea like this, remind me of this moment.
Oh yeah, I would never let you live it down.
okay.
I would make it a
Yeah,
martial
that's
Thanks.
arts.
That's what I wanted, you fucking asshole.
Yeah, there's like gravel in your mouth, in your clothes, and in your ears. Like it's just everywhere. You kind of feel like a sharp pain on your neck, and you reach up, and there's like an actual like lizard man tooth, like still in the flesh.
I pull it out and I stick it in a pocket or something.
All right. All right. So they return to consuming protein.
And I'm gonna gesture to Tits and like kind of shout out. I need a bath and I need sleep.
All right. So they will make.
I'm also gonna go for a long rest because I have 2 hit points left.
Sure. Yeah. So you're gonna go ahead and go rest. And everybody, does anybody else have anything else they want to do while you wait for your meeting at 7:00? What sort of preparations does your character make for a meeting with your current patron?
Jenna's just getting all nice looking and stuff.
Okay.
Wash off any dirt or anything.
All right. Anybody else have any preparations they want to make for this meeting?
I will do up the buttons on the front of my vest.
Oh. That's how you know he's in fancy mode.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm
Bryn, apparently they are preparing to meet with the word they're using is patron, which you believe is some sort of civilian commanding officer. All right. I think with that, the time will pass. The camera will show the rain kind of pounding and the sun traveling through the hazy clouds and rain and thunder clouds, dipping into the sea, the Western Sea, and night coming on. Are you guys a fashionably late, absolutely on time, or professionally / awkwardly early group of you?
Perfectly on time.
Perfectly on time. Okay.
Unless
So,
like, I'm sure Alvis is one of those that's really hard to get going, but Should do our best. Be like, we gotta be there, guys. We gotta go. He's waiting.
Alvis is a roll a d3 and figure out where he is on 3 options at any
All
given
right.
day kind of guy.
I snuck the
Well,
pets
you
with
rolled
me.
today. You're gonna be on time.
I
So
didn't say I had it.
you guys arrive right on time at the Prime Water Estate, which is a very Miami Vice drug cartel looking waterside manor, resplendent with ostentatious sculptures and gardens and armed guards and all that jazz. The guards wear sort of a blue and brown motif, as it were. Let's see. Do I have? I think you guys may have seen them before, but yeah, they've got like the blue and the brown, and they are watching the property, as it were. They also have 2 guard drakes at the front gate, which is these cuties right here. All right. Yeah, this is definitely the household of a good person. Is one of the things that you assure yourselves as you approach. All right. So the guards kind of nod. They were expecting you. They were not expecting your +1. In addition to your armored ally, who again part of your contract is to show him the ropes. So this would definitely be a good surface dweller thing for him to learn. Now that he's learned about unsportsmanlike conduct in the fighting rings, you guys could teach him about dinner parties. So
we played dinner. We played dirty at both.
oh, do you explain that as you kind of make your way through the rain?
Yeah.
Also, personality wise, which of your characters is likely to own an umbrella? I feel like that says a lot about people, as whether or not they have an umbrella.
I don't think any of us are.
Okay, none of you
definitely.
are umbrella people.
Alvis presses hand to chest, indignant. What do you mean we're not umbrella folk? Of course, yeah, no.
And then you undo your parasol. Is that what happens? Like,
Yeah,
Jenna's
definitely not
just
an umbrella
relying
guy.
on her obnoxiously large captain hat.
all right. So, Feliza answers the door. This adorable little gnome. Yeah. And she says, "Oh, welcome. You're just on time. That's professional behavior. If you had shown up a bit early, I was to take you to the smoking room. I suppose if you need to get a good smoke in, I could still take you there. Otherwise, I could just take you directly to the dining area." And I know it doesn't sound anything like Angela Lansbury, a national treasure. And I'm sorry, Angela Lansbury. It's the best I could do. So,
Afra, in fact, not Afra, a mysterious voice will come from Afra's mouth and say, "Smoking is bad for you."
okay. She kind of screws up her face a little bit and she says, "That's not what all the doctors in Waterdeep are saying. They say it encourages strong, healthy lungs, and children should start smoking as soon as possible."
And Afra's just confused.
Yeah. All right. Do you guys want to go to the smoking room, or do you want to just head straight to the dinner area? This is a huge mansion.
Dinner.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say it's a huge question. Like,
Oh yeah. Your decision
I guess
here will
maybe-
change the entire
dude,
campaign. One way. Yeah.
there's gotta be a hidden door in the smoking room. We gotta go.
All right. So as you enter the dining area, you see that there are places set for about 10 people or so. At one end of the table looks like it could seat quite a bit more than 10 people. There is a fireplace in the area that has been lit. It's not exceptionally cold outside, but you are coming in from the rain. And while talking to you, Feliza did use prestidigitation to dry out everybody's clothes and boots so that you don't make a mess. Honestly,
I would have already done
a
so.
magic maid is the best maid in Dungeons and Dragons. All right. So as you are seated, she says, "Well, there'll be a 7-course meal tonight. Would you like to start with some pre-dinner brandy?"
Aye.
All right. So she brings you back some elven brandy. Oh my. Currently very expensive because of trade tariffs with the elves. A popular item to be smuggled, to be sure. And it has a very exotic taste, sort of a combination of like lemons, blueberries, and vanilla, kind of going in there. It's got, yeah, it bites, but it's also so sweet, and it kind of burns its way down in the most pleasant way, for anybody that does partake of it. Uh, just in case, I should ask: is anybody immune to poison? I know that's a weird question to ask out of nowhere right before a dinner party. So, just
Not immune, no.
okay, great, good to know,
No.
good to know. Okay. Also, if at any point your character does not partake of anything, let me know, because that kind of stuff is very telling for character development. All right. So, rain's going on outside. Yeah. Let's see. Do I have any just like chill music? Probably not. Do I have any slightly sinister music? Yeah. Okay. Not that you would need sinister music. Gosh, I'm just tipping my cards all over the table today. Let's see.
Oh, that's you.
All right. So you guys sit and you wait for people to show up. Bread is brought in. It is not just Feliza. There's a whole like staff, obviously, that is working this dinner. And then about 5 or 10 minutes into drinks and bread, you see a striking woman walk into the room. She
Lady
has
of the house.
very long, wavy brown hair, almost purple eyes, which might hint at some sort of mixed heritage earlier in the bloodline kind of thing. Um, yeah, uh, wears jewelry, but nothing so crazy that like you want to start planning a heist around it. Maybe, I don't know. You're players, so you might. Just very nice clothes, very well put together. Definitely has sort of a pseudo noble vibe to her. She is arm in arm with this individual who looks a bit more rowdy. Lots of scars, lots of gruffness. You could tell that he has recently tried to shave, but his 5 o'clock shadow is already working its way through. He is not so much dressed in the clothes you normally see him in, which is everyday Joe who can afford to keep his clothes in good shape and also has, is ready to fight if he needs to. These are definitely more comfortable, at home, trying to look, well dressed and suit the occasion.
So Alvis will actually like it looks super awkward and weird,
Mm-hmm.
but Alvis is going to stand and
Okay.
try and like give like this awkward little bow
Okay.
towards the lady, and he's just be like, "Oh, a pleasure," and then he just looks at the guy and he's like, "Hey," and then sits down.
Oh, she sees your gesture and she just starts beaming. Her smile is wide and pure, and she pulls on her husband's arm and says, "Look, look, it is an angel."
Oh, Alvis like has never looked so pleased in his life,
I look over Afro. Is she
except
blind?
for maybe after he got struck by lightning.
Okay. So overall, a good day for you.
Oh yeah, yeah, this
Yeah.
has been amazing.
And he looks at you, and he kind of raises an eyebrow, and he says, "Indeed, my dear, indeed. I see new face. I see a new face. Please, introduce yourselves. And before you do, let me introduce myself. The name is Gellin, Gellin Prime Water. It is a pleasure to meet you. And this is my beautiful and lovely bride. Um, oh gosh, did I tell you guys her name yet? At any point, or has she just been his mysterious wife?
I think you might have when me and Afra met her the
Uh-huh.
first time when she's real crazy. I'm not sure though.
Okay.
This is Alvis's first time meeting them, so
All right.
Here.
Well, I have in my notes that her name is Dahlia. Is that mesh?
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and he says, and this is my lovely bride, Dahlia Primewater. And she kind of beams at you guys. And yeah, then he goes to sit and kind of motions for you newcomers to introduce yourselves.
Jenna looks at Bryn and she's like, "Introduce yourself to Mr. Promwater."
Yes, Bryn would stand to address him
Okay.
and just say, um, I've only just met this crew, but they've assured me that, you're a respectable person, and I appreciate being allowed into your manor.
Okay. He seems pleased by your manners, and he kind of smiles at you and nods. And this woman, she looks at you and says, "The gate lies open, unguarded, and alone. You wander far to find something, but who watches the door when you run out for air?" And then she just sort of stares at you.
She's staring at Bryn.
Yeah, at Bren. Yeah.
I guess you would say, do you speak of the elemental portals near Zolane?
She looks at you, confused, and she says, "I love bread. Do you?" And she reaches for some bread and starts putting honey on it.
Can I see if I know what Bryn was talking about when he was talking about that portal?
Sure.
Arcana?
That would be definitely a history or arcana. Again, based on what you already know about Tritons, like she might be referring to an elemental gate that like because again, that's where their settlements are usually built around is entrances to and from the elemental plane of water.
Okay.
All right, Pietro, have you introduced yourself yet or no? Like, have you met these
I have
folks?
not.
Okay, then
Well,
this is yeah.
well, I went with them the first time that I was part of the group.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
But maybe it was retcon that I was. I'm not sure.
I think you took a certain face missing individual to get medical assistance instead.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you would need to introduce yourself.
Okay. Hello, my name is Pietro de la Vega. I am a. It is my pleasure to meet you and serve you. And I bow. Pietro bows very deeply, and smiles as best a half-working smile at the Prime Waters.
Okay. Yeah. So, boy, Prime Water, Gellin, he seems to be listening hard to what you say. And he says, if I'm not mistaken, that's Maztica. I hear in your accent. Are you from the New World?
I suppose it is new to you, but it is where I grew up, and yes, it is where I am from.
You're a long way from home.
must journey far and wide to seek that what is important to you.
I see. Fascinating. Interesting that your travels brought you here at such a time as this. All right.
Hopefully, it is a benefit to you, Lord Primewater.
I am no lord. I am a simple businessman, just trying his best to take care of his family and his town. On that note, I received very pleasant news that you were successful in your endeavors. But you must be famished. So let us eat and we can discuss after. Perhaps, during the dessert and after dinner drinks would be a better time to bring up business. For now, please banter and enjoy the delicious foods that we have prepared for you, our very honored guests.
Honored is what we feel. Thank you.
And as he's saying this and being very serious, his wife has sort of picked the soft part of the bread out of her bread and made it into like a little animal and is having it kind of dance on his shoulder and start kissing him on the cheek.
Can Afra's typing something, but can Pietro see what kind of animal that made, or does it just sort of look like an amorphous animalistic blob?
Oh, yeah, you want to see what animal it is? Sure. Give me a perception check. It looks like some kind of lizard, is from what you could tell. Yeah.
Checks out.
I mean, you could just ask her what it is, and I mean, but like, yeah, it's kind of crude, and her movements are kind of, like herky jerky, kind of thing, and I mean, but yeah, so that's what with a 6, you're just kind of like, is that a lizard?
Okay, in that case, I'm just gonna flat out ask her, Lady Primewater, are you an artist in your spare time? What is that you have made?
Yeah, her eyes glisten and go extra wide, and she says, "I adore art. This, oh, this is a crocodile," and she holds it up to show you it. He's very hungry, but his belly's full of worms.
I would like to roll perception.
Okay. A perception check, sure.
Yeah, or yes, or insight if I can.
Insight, okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
insight. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. This woman is batshit crazy.
That's
yeah.
what he told me when I got the net 20 on the inside
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, there's definitely something very wrong with this woman.
Okay, leave it alone there.
Yeah.
I guess we're all just staring at her right now. She said,
"Yeah, Jenna's like, it's very lovely," and she's just kind of like eating her food, not trying to get involved in that.
All right. Yeah. And she starts making him sort of make like throwing up sounds like onto her plate, and she just sort of whispers, "I'm sorry. No, nothing can help. The worms are too deep. It's over for you." And you see Primewater is just eating, nothing's wrong, and he just sort of like over her spell, as it were, he looks to you, Jenna. Are you still wearing captain hat or no?
Jenna would have taken off the hat
Okay.
for dinner.
He says, from what I understand, you know quite a bit about ships. What's your assessment of the Sea Ghost? And this conversation is happening while she does the whole like, and then whispers to her piece of bread, and yeah.
It's a fine ship. After the repairs, I think it'll move quite quickly. Could be ideal for certain tasks of privateering and whatnots. Very capable.
Mm. Oh. What size crew are we looking at?
Ooh, I think we're gonna want a crew of about 25. Um, we have about 12 that we have decided to keep on staff from the
Mm.
previous. No devil worshippers or anything. We've rooted out all we could.
I see. How you feel? You feel confident that you can trust the crew that you've retained?
The ones we've retained, yes. There are a few that may be a little difficult, but we believe they're important pieces to the ship itself and the rest of the crew. So we're doing
Trust
our
is a
best
strong
to
word.
win them
I think
over,
you're gonna
and
control them.
Hmm. At this point, doors open, and each of you is brought a massive lobster. Um, it has been stuffed with cheese, mushrooms, red
oh
onions.
my goodness.
Yeah, it has a huge, like small soup bowl, basically of like a garlic butter for you to dip it in, and then the tools necessary for accessing the meat and all that jazz.
So, got a real sleight of hand to feed the animals I have on me that I didn't take on when I brought.
Certainly. Yeah. Is the sleight of hand also to conceal the animals, or do you have like Jake the Snake Roberts style? You got a snake wrapped around you and like an owl perched on your head, and
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, I don't
oh,
know.
okay.
No one said anything when I took them out, so I'm just gonna try to
Yeah,
feed
yeah.
them right now.
We brought the menagerie to
I
I
only
think you just
brought
brought the
two.
two,
I just
right?
brought the two.
Okay.
Yeah, only the snake and the owl. Nothing
Okay.
else. Oh, I'm feeding them food.
Yeah. It's real subtle. It's real subtle as you sneak them pieces of food. I mean, it's not subtle in that you have a snake and a bird on your head, but everyone is very polite, and the weirdness level at this dinner is already so high that like nobody's really, you know,
Oh, you felt out of
o-
place.
overly concerned about it. All right. Yeah. So delicious food. Conversation kind of continues. So, what are you looking at for filling the ranks here? And I guess we should discuss fiscal matters. Yeah. I'd very much like to have the ship fully registered as a part of my fleet. That would help me tax wise and would also alleviate a lot of the registration fees and other messy businesses involved with getting a ship registered with the Mariners Guild.
Yes, this seems very fitting. Um,
On the bill for the bill of sale for the ship, I would of course list all of you as partial owners, in so much as if my estate ever decided to sell the ship, you would receive fair compensation of whatever sale was made of the ship.
yes, this seems very fair. Um,
All
let's see
right.
here. Crew wise.
So Afra, her bred crocodile, now thoroughly sliced up and sort of discarded on her plate. She looks over at you and she just stares at you with those purple eyes, uh, just watching you.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll wave and then go back to my food.
Okay. As you wave at her, she kind of cocks her head, um, very much like a confused dog would. And then she smiles back and waves at you. All right. So Prime Order says, again, I can't help myself. I just love talking business. Um, the repairs. I've received word that they were a bit costly. That's understandable. You have to spend some money to make some money. Crew wise, I'd like a good crew there. I know the temptation is going to be to go and pick up whatever rabble you could find down at Crabber's Cove, but ideally, we could put some pretty decent folk aboard this vessel. I guess the question I have for you is, are you willing to sort of take a loss off your first few jobs to cover the cost of retaining those contracts?
Um, yes, I mean, as long as the crew is getting paid and these fine men and women who sit with us, I definitely see that would be necessary. It seems we currently have 10 crew members that we retained, so I'm looking to obtain at least 15 more.
Mm. This is a pretty competitive market as far as retaining and attaining good crew. But I have some connections. If it's known that your ship is registered as part of my fleet, that will definitely add a bit of prestige to taking on the contract. Is there any particular area that you're lacking in that I should try and fill first?
Women.
Ooh, haha, let me see
Prime Water
here.
sort of scowls at that one a little bit. Mrs. Prime Water, though, she looks over at you as you say that, and she says, "You're very, very naughty for an angel. You must be very sad and very confused."
I think
Alvis like looks crushed and he's like, "Yes, I hurt my lady." And then he kind of grins and he's like, "But I'm always on the lookout to feel better about myself."
Do you hurt because of what they took from you?
He looks like someone splashed cold water in his face as she asks that. It's a little like
Mhm.
way on the mark. And he's like, just kind of gives her a curt nod. And now he looks at her a little bit more warily than he did before.
And she smiles and she said, ruefully, and she says, "I too have known loss. Just the other day, I had a plate of fried potatoes, and Gellin, he took one of them."
Elvis is like one good eye looks like narrows and looks at Gellin like, why would you hurt this like beautiful creature?
He says, "What? I yelled fry RS before I did it. That makes it okay."
Elvis is just kind of like nods and says, "I would never take your potatoes, my lady."
All right, Gellin kind of gives you an eyebrow at this not so subtle flirting with his wife at the dinner table.
Pietro looks up from his lobster with sort of a half mouthful, which is, Lord Prime, ignore our friend. He's more of a fallen angel than an angel, and he hit his head when he landed. Excellent food.
Elvis will actually laugh at that, but when he looks at Pietro, all of a sudden it's like Elvis is just blown away by the simple effectiveness of this napkin bib thing that Pietro did. Like I've never seen such a thing before. And
Yeah, it
looks
even
down at
has it's like white, and it actually has the little lobster like heraldry on it, like the whole deal. Yeah.
yeah, and Elvis looks down at his vest covered with like food that's spilled, and looks at Pietro, and it's just like, huh, oh. I'm easily distracted.
Yes.
Jenna getting like back on topic. She's like, yes, I think some riggers, some good riggers, good repairmen, people that can aptly repair a ship
Yeah,
while
you see him
at
open his
sea.
small moleskin notebook, and he says, "All right, you need more riggers, and what else?"
General crew.
So just some swabs. Gotcha. Okay. What about a medic? You
Ooh,
He
yes.
kind of he kind of looks over at your lightning struck, face missing, eyeball removed guy.
Yes, a physician would
All right.
be very beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
As well as a good cook, I think.
And a cook. All right.
Perhaps someone with musical talents to keep the morale up.
Oh,
Let's see.
Shanker told me you had recruited a bard. Something
Oh,
not go
he
well with that?
yeah, he was eaten by sharks when we took the ship.
Afra, real quietly, but like not quietly, like everybody can hear the whisper, is gonna whisper to Jenna, "We need like a kennel assistant for the pets.
Um,
Somebody needs to scoop Willie's poop. There's a lot of poop."
why don't we have him poop in the ocean?
Don't know if he's boat trained.
So
Then you're gonna have to boat train him.
yeah, you see his slightly sharp ears kind of twitch a bit, as if he could very much hear you, Afra. And says, "So you need a veterinarian then?"
Just a caretaker. We don't need a vet.
No? Okay.
Is the vet
A
for
vet
me?
would be too much money. Unless it could I guess it could be the doctor for Garuda.
Is it for me? Who's the vet for?
Jenna just looks at the animals on you,
Okay.
on your person.
Jenna, what? Why are you looking at me like that?
So Lady Primewater, who has not eaten any of her lobster, she has one claw on each of her index fingers, and she has slumped down in her chair and is slowly rising up from the chair, with the lobster claws kind of going up and down. And she says, "I I love animals. I could be their veterinarian."
Oh yes, 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 yes.
We appreciate the offer, ma'am, but we wouldn't want to take you away from Mr. Primewater here.
And he looks at her and he says, "Now, dear, you know you're always welcome to go out onto the one of the ships, but these individuals will be doing very dangerous things, so it's not really appropriate for you to go out there and risk your life, as it were. Um, you are too precious, and you are needed here." And she kind of looks over at him and she rolls her eyes back so you can only see the whites of her eyes. And in deep speech, does anybody speak deep speech?
No.
No. Okay. She says some scary stuff. Deep speech is basically like Flargoffin, Laffin, Cthulhu, Thulu, Flarga, Flarga, Blargan is basically the deep speech. And as she does, she kind of menaces him with her lobster claws. And he makes like the emoji face of like tiny eyes with like a very long wide line for the mouth. And he says, "Adorable. But no, you cannot be their veterinarian." And she lets out an angry scream and flings the lobster claws like behind her, and then crosses her arms petulantly, and curls up her knees to her chest and sits in the chair like that.
Alvis will summon Arabeth
Okay.
out of the extra dimensional space, and I will telepathically communicate to Arabeth that the beautiful woman across the table from me um, could use some animal companionship to
Okay.
to improve her mood.
Arabeth, who can communicate simple thoughts with you because she's your familiar, she says, "That bitch crazy."
Yeah.
And Alvis with the most like appreciative, good thoughts, wholeheartedly agrees, but in a like, because that's an awesome quality to have, sort of thing,
Mm.
and sends Arabeth to go perch on Lady
All right.
Primewater's
Erebeth
shoulder.
looks at the camera. She makes the emoji face of 2 small dots for eyes and a long line for a mouth. And she goes over to the woman, and you could see her kind of tense up. And she lands on the arm of the chair, and the woman sort of looks over at her and smiles a bit and wipes away some tears and begins to pet the bird.
And
Mhm.
Alvis will softly across the table just say, "Her name is Arabeth. She reminds me of what they took."
All right. So food continues to come out. If any of you have any questions you want to discuss or conversations you want to broach, you could certainly do so. They bring out the next meal. It is some kind of uh, braised beef tail. Again, with mushrooms. The whole thing is sort of wrapped in sea kelp and heavily salted with rock salt.
I got a question for Prime Water.
Yeah,
Prime Water. Do you have any contacts in what's the place called? Where the place where the firearms come from?
Lantan.
Yeah, you have any contacts there?
I mean, I wouldn't be a very good import, export, and shipping businessman if I didn't. So yes, I do.
Okay, I would like to go there one day. So if you ever have like a mission you need us to send that way, I will think we'll be down for it.
Oh, yeah, you'd like to travel to Lantan?
I would like to travel to Lantan. Seems like a
Oh,
place for me.
that is a very dangerous run. It is a bit far, and the waters outside of Lantan are rife with pirates who would try and steal any goods leaving the nation. But yeah, that is bold, and I like what I hear. I will definitely keep that in mind.
It seems like the ghosts already been there once. So we, I think we can be able to do it. We're pretty strong ourselves.
Perhaps. Keep in mind that smuggling is never done in a straight line. And he kind of watches to see if you understand what he's saying.
Uh, and I have like the two little eyes, and then I go across my face.
The line for the mouth?
Yeah, I
Okay.
have no idea what he meant. I go, yes.
Okay.
Of course.
Yeah. All right. Anything else as you enjoy this course? Anyone that is curious about the food, you could certainly attempt to figure out what it is, or you could simply ask, or you could just eat it and hope for the best.
Pietro is not eating the whatever this dish is. He's kind of lost his appetite
Oh,
with all the strangeness going on with Lady Prime Water.
okay.
A funny feeling.
Bryn,
Jen is
did,
just
do you
like
eat the seafood?
finishing it up, where she just takes like a few bites of like each course.
Yeah, Triton are omnivores. So, Bryn, you personally, are you like, is this food that you would eat, or is your character like, what is your character into as far as food goes?
I don't think he would have known when Lady was talking about bread. I don't know if he would have known what bread was, but
Oh, okay.
he would definitely have eaten the seafood.
Okay. Did you try the bread, or was it too strange?
You probably would have strayed away from not tried it.
Okay, yeah, it has the consistency of like a well prepared sea cucumber or sponge, but has a very light taste to it, yet somehow is also heavy. It's a very confusing product. And they had all manner of things to spread on it as well. Um, so there was like a sweet, sort of sticky, syrupy liquid, and there was which perhaps some kind of congealed blood or some other weird oil, maybe. They did have oil with spices in it, and they had sort of a thick, creamy, sort of yellow-white substance that you assumed was some sort of mashed up roe or just sort of a rendered fat, maybe, which we're describing honey, olive oil, and spices and butter. But your dude's kind of like in outer space right now. So yeah, I mean the food has been it's been really good. Again, your guys, they don't focus on cooking and going out of their way for that kind of stuff. So I would say a lot of this food compared to what you're used to back home would be very, very rich, like very, very like over the top fancy. A big part of what you guys eat is creatures that you have hunted that were a threat. Rather than go to waste, you guys would take them back and they would be rendered into equipment and food and whatnot. So you guys have a very uh, very utilitarian, very Spartan sort of attitude when it comes to food, at least where you're from. So this food would be very fancy pants, and also strange because the surface world. All right. Yeah, they continue to bring out food. I don't need to tell you all the different foods they bring out unless you really want to know, but it's fancy. And eventually you make it to dessert time. So so they bring out basically what's sort of like a tiramisu style dessert. And a lot of that delicious brown bean juice, which Pietro, you recognize immediately because that's it comes from the New World. Actually, it is called kafe, and it's basically coffee.
I see you have cave in this part of the world. It is good.
Yes, I confess to be a bit addicted to it. That's a shame because it is quite expensive. The tariffs they impose on it keep the price at 50 gold a pound.
Ridiculous, that's a lot.
Oh, it absolutely is. Yeah. An average worker could spend twice his income and not be able to enjoy a cup every day of the month.
This is crazy to me because where I'm from, I mean, this is a common beverage.
I know. The New World sounds like a fascinating place.
Wonderful, but what is I'm used to it in your lands. I'm not so much, and that is part of why I come.
Well, if I could, I would stop drinking it immediately. But I just can't. A day without it brings severe headaches and a weariness that I can't stand. But to drink it, sharpens the wits, gets the blood pumping.
It is quite good.
So, now comes the time for true business talk. Tell me, what did you really find on the ship? What are we really dealing with here?
Silks, ale, confiscated firearms that were being brokered to the lizard folk, which we currently have at the empty net. We were
Afra, he pretends to be surprised by this, but already seems to have known this.
Yeah, Jenna pretty much just expected him to already know since his guys were the ones working on the ship.
Right.
We found a sea elf that was to be sold into slavery to another sea elf.
Now, yeah, that would definitely be noteworthy, Bryn, because your peeps are very good allies with the sea elves, but you definitely behind closed doors call them the tryhards. They think that they're the guardians of the ocean, and they think that they're bad bitches and bad boys. But you guys are pretty confident that they ain't even close to taking it seriously.
Pietro points at Jenna and sort of not in an admonishing way, but just sort of elaborates and says, No, he was going to be sacrificed. This dude's a fucking cultist.
Slavery is slavery.
An,
But yes,
an elf sacrifice. That's definitely going the extra mile.
yeah, we interrogated the elf. He said that he knew nothing. He just got kind of swooped up in it all and captured, and that we found out that the purchaser of the slaves just wanted to see Elf, no one in particular, so I don't think there's anything exceptional about the individual. We have agreed to take him on to pay off his way.
I like your style on that one. Make him feel indebted to you, and then put him to work for you. I'm a big fan of that strategy.
Yeah. Yes, it's a good one. And yeah, we were planning after the ship was repaired to deliver the lizard folk and the firearms that they were purchasing, and they were purchasing them to fight off some Sahaugen that are currently plaguing the lizard folk. We understood it to be a delicate situation, and we didn't want to upset the lizard folk in the region.
So your intention then is to sail up the coast through the coastline of the Lizard Marsh, and then where exactly are they located?
We're still
Jenna, you know that they are located in the region known as Dunwater.
Yes, Dungwater. We're still securing the rest of the details, but yes, that was our plan.
All right. I think that is a good idea. I think that the fact that the lizard folk are trying to purchase weapons is quite disturbing, and is definitely something that bears looking into. Do you think that there's any chance that they are going to use those weapons against the people of Saltmarsh?
Not right now.
I see.
I mean, we are arming a people that is volatile.
Well,
They
Saltmarsh and the lizards have lived in peace for a very long time. Um, we have occasionally lost some people that went too far into their territory, and they have lost a few of their people who thought they could come into town and, well, it would be wrong of me to say cause trouble. Cause trouble through misunderstandings. You could certainly understand. You see a 350-pound lizard man eating a dog, you're probably going to attack it. And yeah,
yes.
as much as we try to be metropolitan, like they are in Waterdeep, there are just some things that are hard to get on board for.
Precisely. And I thought that with your concern of Saltmarsh, the last thing we would want to do would be to upset the lizard folk by
Oh no, yes, you
refusing their
definitely
broker.
made the right decision there. Yeah, they. I don't want to call them stupid, or even use the word simple, but they see things very black and white. If a soft skin betrays them, all soft skins are likely to betray them.
So I don't see any reason if they would use the weapons against the people of Saltmarsh unless the peace was broken somehow. But that is not our intent to
I
break.
have to ask, if you're going to deal with these folk, do any of you speak Draconic? That's what their language is based on.
This is not.
I do not.
Okay, this could be problematic then. You, I suppose, are relying on the fact that they will speak Chondathan, uh, in order to better facilitate trade with us. But having someone that could understand their language, especially someone who does not tip their hand that they do, you could glean some information, perhaps whispered conversations in the background, sort of thing.
Um,
Mention to Jenna, isn't there some magic that might allow
yeah,
you to?
yeah. I mean, if we could, if I could get my hands on a comprehend languages scroll,
Okay, that's the one that lets you understand but not
understand but
speak.
not speak. I think to
See.
speak would be tongues, but I am not quite of the level of that spell yet.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then,
Yeah.
Very soon.
during part of this conversation, Pietro chimes in. Plus, if they do not know that we understand, they will speak more freely if there is deceit afoot.
Absolutely. I would maintain that cover throughout your journey there.
Alvis speaks up and kind of he actually like puts his book on the table, kind of plops it down and goes, "Oh yeah, comprehend languages. Yes, yes." He points at the book. I got that.
Oh, as you pull out your book and put it on the table, the happy pats of the birds stop, and the lady of the house looks over at you and your book. And she says, "Oh, finally, it's story time. Please tell us a story."
Alvis will happily open the book and start telling her. Basically, he'll tell a fable from like the teachings of Airdrie Fairnia, like one
Mm.
big the types of stories they tell the children about the sky goddess and how she uh, keeps us all safe, storms to blow off our enemies, and
Okay, so is this a short, medium, or long tale that
uh,
you are engaging in?
it's a fairly short one,
Okay.
only about 10 minutes.
Yeah. So out of nowhere, your conversation about diplomacy, trade, et cetera, is put on hold as a story about elf stuff starts happening. Does anybody interject or try to interrupt?
Um, perhaps we could, perhaps you could go tell her the story in another room.
Prime Mortar kind of raises his hand to you, Jenna, and says, "No, no, please, story time."
Can I have another cup of
Jenna's
coffee?
just like, very well, and she feels defeated. Like, all right, I guess this is okay.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna roll just to see if there's like meaning below story time.
Yeah.
I'll probably fail, but
Oh,
I'm
like an
curious.
insight to see where his mood's at? Yeah, for sure. Go for it.
Fail.
Yeah, you feel like he is willing to indulge this woman every whim and madness to a certain point. Whether or not he's upset about it is up to your own interpretation.
Enough.
Yeah,
Can I want to inside him as well.
sure.
Can I order a second cup of keef?
Yeah, Jenna, well, let's go into private chat. Afra, you could come into private chat too, because you know everything, Sherlock Holmes.
Okay.
The ironic thing is this is like the one time Alvis isn't flirting; he's actually just trying to appease the woman.
How's everyone day going so far?
So far, so good. I pretty much roll out of bed right about the time it is to start the game.
I do the exact same thing. Except at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Oh yeah, you're on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Alright.
All right.
Alright, so Jenna under the table, she's gonna, I think it's a bit of fleas. Um,
Remember, elves are immune to sleep.
so she pulls out a bit of fleece underneath the table, and she casts minor illusion, and it's over. So like Elvis has the spell book up, like he's reading a story, and it's
Mhm.
basically like right on like that page, and it's gonna say you need to stop, and you need to be quiet, and you need to just let us finish this, and I'll explain when we're out of here.
All right, Alvis, go ahead and give me a performance check for your storytelling.
All right.
Oh wow. She claps happily and pulls on her husband's arm and shoulder and says, "Was that not the best story that you've heard in a long time?" And she's just sort of like gushing with like adoration for what has just transpired. Are you a bard, sir?
Oh no. You flatter me, lady, but I merely enjoy the odd tale of my goddess.
Hmm. I would love to hear more. You can be my bard, and I'll be your patron.
Oh, bards are supposed to be pretty.
Am I not pretty?
Bards are supposed to be charismatic. They don't necessarily have to be
Yeah,
pretty.
she seems a bit taken aback by this, and she says, "Do you not see the beauty of this creature? This one-eyed angel who sees past the veil? In his pain, he has seen so much, and through his pain, he will see so much more."
You're talking about Elvis?
Yeah, she looks at you and she nods like, "Yeah, yeah."
I look at Elvis. This dude right here, or this guy right here, and I like point at him. Make sure we talk about the same person.
And
Yeah.
she looks back at him and she nods like, "Yes."
Yeah.
Albus is just gonna be like, "You flatter me, lady, and I appreciate your words. And I would happily tell you tales anytime we come back to port." And then he kind of like again taps the book down, looks at Gellin and says, "But as I said, Lord, I have the spell that would assist us in that
Fantastic. That'll
endeavor."
save us a bit of money up front. Please allow Lady Jenna to copy the book so that you have additional copies of it available. I would task you then, as soon as the ship is ready to sail, to go and find out everything you can with these lizard folk. And if you can assist them in some way, earn their trust, um, that will allow you to learn even more. Also, be on the lookout for business opportunities. And of course, any possible spillover of danger that might uh, affect our town.
Very well, Mr. Primewater. We
All right.
will see to that, of course.
Of course. Well, the hour grows late. I've kept you far too long. Do you require anything else before you head out?
Um, just do we know roughly how long on the repairs?
Oh, do we need a jolly boat? Do we already make arrangements for a jolly boat?
Ooh, that's
Oh, yeah.
500. That's 500 right there for a jolly boat.
Well, somebody decided, oh, I'll give the jolly boat to the deserters.
Wait,
Okay.
a jolly boat is 500 gold?
Yeah.
I'll fucking craft my own jolly boat.
Okay,
Uh,
you don't craft the jolly boat. It's the ship, right?
I mean, according to Xanathars, that will take several weeks to build your own jolly boat.
A jolly boat?
It's based on the cost of the item. Yeah. Unless you're a forge cleric or something and you could just magic stuff up.
I just think we should stop adventuring and go into the jolly boat making business because
Yeah.
these things sell for so much.
I
Yes, we'll
mean,
need a new jolly boat as well.
Yeah.
oh,
500 gold.
okay.
Why else do you think Bloody Border was like, that's awfully generous?
Yeah.
I look, all right.
That was my DM handout there. I was
Yeah.
just like, wow. One of them should probably say something.
I was gonna say
a
something. I would have
jolly boat is like a
in front of the-
rowboat.
have that.
No, a jolly boat is much more than a rowboat. It's got a sail. It's got oars. It's like it's like a little ATV. It's like
That
the
needs to come out of Jenna's share.
Oh, okay. I thought we were giving him a rowboat.
Oh.
yeah, a jolly boat is like it's like a little boat. It's
I
like
guess it's a
legit-
little too late to retcon that one.
Oh,
since then
yeah.
it's just extremely generous.
Well,
but
it was
the tales of the
generous
generosity
enough.
of Captain Jenna will spread throughout the story.
Yeah, it's generous enough that they probably will not bother coming back for revenge. They're just like, yeah, all right, dang, cool. Kind of wish we could have worked for that lady. She's super generous.
Yes, we'll need a new jolly
You can't
boat.
spell generous without generous. Okay, anyways.
Oh no.
The generous Captain Jenna. Your tales of your
Jenna the
altruism have
generous.
spread far and wide.
That was a good deceive them all.
All right. So if anyone has any other business here at the manor, otherwise you can head back, get some sleep, and prepare for your journey. You asked how many days to repair the ship. He is going to have his dudes work on it day and night, essentially, because he feels like it's probably better to get lizard folk out of town as quickly as possible. B, you got hot merchandise. Don't want to keep that in town longer than you should because this dude does
He's not
have
gonna be able to fence that for us?
Huh?
He's not
Well,
gonna be able
he'll-
to fence that for us?
Well, he's gonna fence, yeah, but guns. You guys are delivering guns.
Oh, you're talking about okay. I'm sorry. I
Oh
misunderstood.
yeah. No. He's definitely
We have a boat full of it.
yeah, he's definitely gonna take care of those goods, but like the guns, he doesn't want them to sit in the harbor for any amount of time. So he would like to get you guys kind of out of here at a certain point. So yeah, even then though, with the repairs being sped up and all that, it's gonna be you're gonna have a whole day tomorrow in Saltmarsh, and then be able to leave the following day. If you want to take the ship. If you wanted to leave earlier, you could certainly try to make your way through the swamps, which could be very dangerous, and get to them that way.
Yeah, we'll wait for the boat.
Okay. So weather-wise, it is still raining, but it is not heavy or steady. It is just a drizzle, and that's going to go on all of this next day. So it's going to be kind of a 75 degrees with like drizzle. So it's just a real nasty kind of armpit sort of day. Clouds overhead, so it's going to be like all gray and overcast. But the day that you would leave is actually going to be a clear sky, no precipitation, and nice strong winds. Yeah, so anybody that is superstitious, that would definitely be an auspicious, first journey in the ship would be on such a nice
Like
day.
our whole crew.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so I'll mark on the
And
calendar.
how many days was it? I know they're working around the clock to fix the ship, but how many days was it again? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Yeah, to get it unloaded without anybody noticing the goods, and to get the ship repaired, because again, the whole side of it got torn out by those rocks. The ship will be ready essentially in 2 days. So it's all day. Today's the 27th, but it's almost over now. So all day the 28th, it's going to be armpit weather. And then the morning of the 29th, the ship will be ready to go. So you guys will have 1 day in town. We could certainly just downtime it if you want, or if you did have business to get up to, you could. If you wanted to explore the town some more, you could.
Gotta go
know-
fetch Lily.
We do need to
Oh,
finish.
that's true. Yeah, you got to go fetch Willie. And
Will
without
you
a
help us direction to the marshes?
I
Like
the
if we're
marshes
sailing.
are north of town.
So we got 500 in Electrum, right? That we transferred over.
Yep.
So for the goods that Prime Water's gonna fence, how much
Mhm.
do we get from all of those? The silks and the ales?
Yeah. So he's going to take repairs and hiring per your conversation
Yep.
out of whatever your share would have been
Yep.
to sort of get things going. So let me double check on them prices real quick. While I'm doing that, you guys should definitely discuss your next move.
We need
Like
to get-
business
we
that you
need
need
to
to get
get-
done in town.
The group and do that? Do we? I mean, Pietro again wants to, make money. So if left to his own devices, he's going to roam around town trying to find some work.
Yeah, Elvis is thinking the same thing. If we can find something in town over the next day or two that can make money, maybe get this new crew member blooded as well before we put him out to sea with us.
Hey, I don't mind having some downtime to make some weapons. I mean, if we get downtime, if you just hand out downtime like this, I wouldn't mind making another weapon.
We
can
also
make weapons on the ship.
we also had 350 gold in jewelry. Are we able to just? Is that gonna just sell for 350 gold?
Yeah, so gems and stuff in Dungeons and Dragons land retain their value. So that's not one of those you sell it for half price kind of thing.
It's kind of like
They're
assuming
basically
the price it
basically
says
a
is.
smart way to carry a lot of money. Because carrying like a huge pile of coin it's going to fill up even a bag of holding eventually. So a lot of times you'll convert your money into gemstones, and because of that practice, gemstones are sort of treated as their own currency in the world.
Yeah, I became the treasurer, so
Okay.
I don't know how this happened.
I guess out of character,
Yeah.
I do have the marine background, so if we want to approach that like from in character perspective, but I can sail the boat twice as far in a day.
Oh, very nice.
Oh dang!
Yeah, so you could probably bring that up to the rest of the crew, which would be handy information for them to have.
And where are we at this point? Are we still hanging out in the salon at the
Prime Water Estate.
Yeah, or are we on our walking
Well, that's
back?
what I'm asking. If you guys, if you had any more business with them, you would stay. Otherwise, I assumed you headed back to the empty net.
What about clothing? So I have wizard clothing worth 300 gold. Is that worth 300 gold? Or how would I sell the fancy wizard clothing? The fancy pirate hooker boots.
Oh, you want to sell the fancy clothing?
Yeah, we had 350 gold worth of fancy wizard clothing.
Okay. Yeah, so with the fancy clothing, since it's like an art object and the price that I listed for it is like the price that you could sell it for.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like stuff that's like standard issue, like, Skyrim style. I take everything this person has. I take their shoes, I take their bracers, I take their leather armor, I take their shirt. All that kind of basic stuff. That's the stuff that you could sell for half of its player's handbook value. But fancier stuff is basically art objects or things like that. They could be sold for significantly more money.
Okay, and so when I'm selling stuff, do you want me to like put in chat what I'm selling?
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be a great way to bookkeep it.
Didn't we?
This is a pretty foreign concept because in your other game on Mondays, your treasurer literally just hoarded all your money for 18 levels. So
yeah. And he
These-
was the original treasurer here.
Yeah, these guys were squabbling over money, and finally the party treasurer was like, "Oh, we have 140,000 gold." They were surprised, I would say. So
Wow.
Jenna,
That was it.
your share of the goods of the stolen goods, not stolen goods, smuggled goods, 1,500 gold. So he is going to sink that 1,500 gold into the initial hiring for the crew and getting you guys a new jolly boat. And you did ask for a cook, a physician, possibly a physician who also deals with animals, a stable hand, a bard, and riggers, more so than swabs, and then swabs to fill out the rest of the ranks. Do I have all that correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Now, does the cook know how to
Unless
brew
anyone
beer?
else has
That's an
another
important-
suggestion.
Wait, what?
Does the cook know how to brew beer? That's an important question.
I
Yes.
mean, he knows how to make grog.
Elvis, are we okay with that?
I mean, as long as it gets Alvis drunk, he's pleased.
Okay, I guess we're okay with that.
Okay. It ain't easy to make grog. You literally have to mix water and rum. So
Well, at least the alcohol kills the germs.
yeah.
Very good, very good. As far as the whole, do we have anything left to do on Prime Water State?
Mhm.
No. Alvis is he's flirtatious, but he's also keenly aware of when he'll probably where if he takes any further action, he'll be found in the river with his balls cut off. So
Mm.
he will graciously thank the host for the evening's repast, and as long as no one else is staying, he will take his leave with the group.
Okay.
And,
As you
Pietro
go
will
to
bow his
leave. Oh,
as
sorry.
well.
What was that, Pietro?
He will bow to the benefactors and leave with all of us.
Okay. All of us, as you go to leave, Lady Prime Water, she hands you something.
As she does, I will do that gentlemanly thing where you kiss the back of a lady's hand, but you're not actually supposed to kiss it. You're supposed to brush your lips just over it, and I will thank her for her hospitality.
Okay. Yeah. So those of you near Prime Water, you hear sort of like a growling sound almost in like the throat area of his anatomy. And she gives you a silver handkerchief.
Oh, this is like Alvis's new most prized possession.
The handkerchief is it's quite large actually. It's like one of them magician handkerchiefs, you know, that like it seems kind of small, but like the more you unfold it, like the bigger it gets.
Nice.
I don't know if you want to mess with it right now or if you just graciously take it and then call
I
it
would graciously take it and I'll investigate later. I feel
Okay.
as again, I'm trying to be gracious, but I know when a husband wants to see my backside, so
All right. And she says to you, "This will
What?
keep my angel safe. And please don't get any worms."
I will nod as though I am taking this as seriously as she,
Okay.
and
What's
I will do
the
my best,
value?
milady.
Okay. And then she turns to Afra and she says, "Remember always that you are yourself and no one else. Don't let them take that from you."
Yes. We are all special.
All right. Prime Water making a line face with the little dot eyes. It says, "I am eager to find out what happens next. Have you been provided a sending stone yet?"
No, no, sir, we have not.
All right. I'll have one delivered to the ship. You can use it once per day to contact me, or I can use it once per day to contact you.
Excellent. I'll keep
All
it on
right.
me.
The night is miserably wet. Be safe.
Thank you.
Oh,
You too,
who
sir.
cares?
And Jenna will say something like, "We appreciate your hospitality. The meal was quite delicious."
Okay.
And then she'd depart.
All right.
Hopefully, with Alvis still behind her.
Alvis
Yeah.
generally walks behind you whenever the opportunity arises. Yes.
Gyoza, as you go to
Oh
leave,
God, dude.
as you go to leave, it's not over yet. Feliza comes up to you. Here you go, Sonny. I saw you had those little pets, and I made you a little baggie of leftovers for them.
You are the nicest thing ever. Thank you. And Gerda takes them. Thank you so
All right.
much. He's generally happy. First time looks like he's been paying attention since the entire
All right.
meal.
So you guys head out into the rain. It is late. You were there for probably 3 hours or so, maybe longer. What is your goal for the next night and day? Do you just want to? Again, you could time skip. You could just let me know. We'll do round robin. What your plans are for the next day. However you want to do it.
I think that Alvis should be teaching Jenna comprehend languages.
Okay. Smart.
I'll
And before we
also
start that,
Yeah.
Pietro's going to come up on Aldous' left side, put him in a
Okay.
headlock, noogie, and say, "You crazy bastard! You tried to get us all fucking killed, trying to seduce the boss's wife." And he kind of laughs at him.
Alvis like does that. You know that we all have that guy friend. He goes too far, but he acts like what? What? That's totally Alvis's response to that. Is
He,
like
you
I was
know,
just
he will
Pietro's
fucking
playful
kill
about it, like,
you.
he got out of it alive, so he doesn't really care. But he's giving all this crap about it because he was just totally just going for it, just not stopping.
I mean,
He
I was
over the
only
line.
half eye fucking her conversation because I've only got half my eyes. It wasn't as bad as it could have been.
Just let me get all your spells before you go wandering off.
Yeah. But downtime wise, Alvis would teach Jenna to comprehend languages. I will ritual detect magic or figure out what is with this kerchief. But I treasure this kerchief.
Oh my God, we have so much money that no one was taking it. Oh my goodness.
And
We have so much money. What?
and if it's possible, Crash, is there a purveyor of like in Xanathars they have like kind of those mundane, not quite magical, but special items. I'm looking for basically a waterproof book
Well,
or waterproof covering for the spell book.
before you guys do that, all right, Jenna is gonna give 300 gold to basically everyone but Bryn, and that's just because you didn't earn this shit, bro. You'll learn it later. But I pay good. Yeah, so everyone can just add 300 gold to their inventory. All right. I'm
Okay.
taking it out of the
Nice.
party inventory, so make sure it's on your character sheet, because otherwise money will just disappear.
Okay.
Very nice.
All right. The handkerchief. When you unfold it all the way, it actually somehow unfolds to be 3 feet by 3 feet.
Holy sheet.
Yeah. Embroidered on it in Elven script are these words, which roughly translate to "safety for you, love."
Oh God.
Yep, trying to get her killed. Trying to get him killed.
Alvis's grin is about as wide as mine is right now.
Okay.
So yeah, he is.
And it is
He's actually.
it is a magic item, so you're pretty sure that those are the command words to activate it.
I will take the time to properly identify it and attune if necessary, and learn about
Okay.
it before I activate it.
All right. It does not require attunement. It is when you say the command words, it becomes a elven rapier, silvered, and retains the magic property.
That's
Uh,
cool.
when you say the command word again, it turns back into a silk handkerchief.
Nice.
That
Very
tucked up
cool.
your sleeve.
All right.
Awesome.
What is the electrum to gold?
Electrum is a 50-cent piece. Gold is $1.
Okay, so all right.
Can I downtime go get Willie? Is that a thing I can
Oh,
do?
yes. Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, and real quick, Afra and I were talking because she doesn't like her weapons,
Yeah.
and I've got my rapiers, and I really don't need that long sword, and it's a
Yeah.
finesse weapon. I'm gonna swap with Afra. I initially got for what was
My wound closure
Yeah.
parry apt.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
okay. We should have done that trade before I fought the alligator.
Garuda, are you gonna need this fanny pack? Are you gonna need to hold on to it for a while?
It has weapons in there.
Like, do you
I
need
think
it?
the fanny pack is allowing him to quote unquote open carry.
Yeah.
Yeah, because again, Sword Coast guns are illegal.
Yeah.
Okay. Then Jenna's gonna go to the new shop that opened up. Whoop, whoop, whoop,
Oh, okay.
and try and purchase a bag of holding.
New location, new NPC. Oh man. All right, let's see. Where are you
I'm
at?
still
There.
figuring out how much money we have, but I'm working on it. Dude, there's
Market.
I mean, you
Oh,
can
there
put
we
the
go.
money in there. You can still be control of it. I'll just make sure.
it's not about the money, dude. It's about the 18 cutlasses, 24 daggers, 14 longbows, 3 dragon anti-sets,
See, you gotta give
350 feet of rope.
you gotta give Rourke a hug. This guy, he does this week after week for like 2 years now. He's been.
I mean, he hoarded all the money though. I paid everybody at least. I
All
think
right.
on Charles, I never had more than 100 gold in my. And no, the only time I did was after the Blood Titan, and I was carrying around 5,000 gold. That was the only time.
So you go to the news shop across the street from the empty nets, the faithful quartermasters of Joachim. Joachim being the goddess of coin and trade. Unaligned, only cares about commerce.
Or is that just Jenna?
Oh, anybody that wants to go. Anybody that wants to go. It would be much more convenient for me if you were all there together. But just so you guys have a general sense of who you are dealing with there. All right. So there was a tiefling woman rocking the traditional 4th edition tiefling look of red skin, devil tail, and horns. So she is more than likely either older generation of tiefling or is in some way wrapped up with Asmodeus's bloodline. So that is what's going on there. Tieflings, of course, come in a variety of looks, but historically, there was this whole gambit that Asmodeus did, where he converted all tieflings over to his service against their will, and they all got mutated to look in his image, essentially. Blah blah blah. So he kind of hosed an entire generation of tieflings to all look like his servants. So, yeah.
Awesome.
But yeah, sir, she seems to be the one in charge. There are golems, 2 golems that are working security in the shop, and you see that there is a number of staff on hand. The staff is armed. They look like they are trained in both spell and blade. So this place is definitely rocking some security. All right. So the lady introduces herself as Captain Zendros of Joachim, and she basically takes in your measure and says,
Yeah, Captain. Jenna greets her and says, "Good day. My name is Captain Jenna of the Generous." I'm just kidding. That's not what
Are
we
we
do.
married to that name?
Are we married to that?
"Your name is Jenna the Generous." Okay. I hope you are generous with me when I tell you our prices.
Well, we'll see about that, I suppose. I was interested in a bag of holding.
Isn't everyone? I believe we have one on hand. Let me check real quick. And she begins to whisper to an invisible entity off to her side.
Wow.
The invisible entity off to her side. You see stuff kind of move as it moves, and you feel like it headed off towards quote unquote the back.
Quick question with our bag of holding. I thought Garuda had the bag of holding because of all of his accoutrement.
Yeah, we
Oh,
gave it to
totally,
him.
totally. That's
Yeah.
why.
Look,
That's why
I'm
she's
trying.
coming to buy another one. So
Okay,
that
I
they
just wanted to
can.
make sure that I was understanding the pieces. Sorry.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, no, it's all good. Let's see.
I'm gonna be flying around with a giant rifle on my back. Sure, it can shut out the sky.
All right, bag of holding usually about 500, but let me double check. All right.
And do they have like an armor section that I can kind of like browse through, see if there's anything interesting?
I mean, generally,
Oh.
a menu would be nice. Do we
A
have
menu? Oh my goodness. All right, let me
Well-
see what the adventure's got here for me. All right, you do see a sign that says "We buy magical goods," hanging prominently on the wall. And this is apparently, inquire for more, basically. So that's a good sign. She eyes you up and down, Jenna the Generous, and she says, "You are in luck. There is plenty of supply right now for a bag of holding. Normally market price 500 golds. I let go for 450."
You've got yourself a deal.
Mm. We have several models to choose from. Is there some particular style you're looking for?
Something that could go easily under this coat. And Jenna kind of like flashes the coat at you.
Let's go with the side belt pouch then.
Excellent.
All right. You see a side belt pouch come floating in from the back through a little beaded curtain they've got hanging. All right. She writes up a official bill of trade, and of which you get a copy. It basically ensures that this is not a cursed magical item. It is backed by the quartermasters of Joachim, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It does inform you that price, transactions are final, no returns, blah 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 blah. And then she does say, "You seem to be a professional. Would you like to examine item before you sign contract, or do you take us at our word?"
I mean, it's just our first time in business. I'd like to take a look at it, of course.
Certainly. All
I,
right, so you cast Identify on it.
Yeah.
Okay. It's on the up and up. It is. I mean, not that Identify could tell you if it was cursed or not, but yeah, it's on the up and up, and it seems fine. So, it is in fact a bag of holding. You put something in it, and you take something out to test it. It does not devour it, which is a type of item, a bag of devouring. Yeah. So, you kind of put your hand in there, feel around. It's not a bag of colding. Give it a smell. It's not a bag of molding. So you work through
Excellent.
all the available puns, and eventually you're like, yeah, this is legit.
It
Would it be a
doesn't,
bag of
make fun
holding
of
though?
you. It's not a bag of
Oh,
scolding.
bag of holding's the worst, unless you put a baby dragon in there. No.
Hint, hint
do
for.
Do you guys also broker healing potions?
Yes, absolutely. We have special brand Joachim healing potion has strawberry taste.
Ooh, very good. That's much better than the licorice taste I had before. Very common in Fae.
Yeah.
I'll
We
take.
are no fools. We keep many in stock at all times. Have
Well,
alchemists on staff.
yes, we'll take. How much are you wagering for 'em? 45 apiece.
Oof. This is kind of you to ask, but we do have to sell to standard price. There is coalition of wizrobes on Sword Coast. If they find out we're selling below market value on healing potion, we lose license.
Understandable, of course. So 50 gold then.
50 gold, yes. Now I could accidentally drop one extra in bag if you buy 10.
Yep, I was gonna ask for 10.
Yeah. Sometimes you get clumsy like that, but it's totally on the up and up.
That sounds good. Yes, we'll put in that purchase for 10, please.
Okay. Oops, I have dropped an 11th one into your bag. Oh well. All right. So 500 gold for healing potions. You get 11 of them because she dropped one.
Nice. Wait, 500 gold for? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 50
Yep,
each.
yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that's how much I planned on paying for it.
All right.
Alvis is looking for an endearing spellbook.
An endearing spellbook.
Yeah. It's a sea campaign. We go in water a lot. I figure it might be worth buying a book that is waterproof.
Oh, yeah. She kind of sees, like, as she's dealing with Jenna, and she motions, and you see just a basic Apple Store employee looking guy kind of comes up to you with his turtleneck and everything. And he's like, "Sir, I see you're perusing our spellbooks."
Yeah, I hold mine out, which is like clearly been wet at times. It probably has like scorch marks on it and stuff.
Mm.
And I'm like, I need something that you know, would be able to handle things better than this.
I see the gentleman has been through quite a bit with his spell book there. Does this book have sentimental value to you? Because we can certainly clean it up for you and lay down some protections upon it.
Would you like to buy spellbook care?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, if they're able to
We
make
here at the
my
Quartermasters of Joachim understand the very expensive process of taking your data from one spellbook to another.
I would happily have it refurbished and upgraded with the newest firmware. I mean, enchantment.
Certainly, based on our location, waterproofing is a standard procedure. I hope you don't mind.
That would be waterproof. You know, I've heard people say that they get sold waterproofing and are told afterwards that that's not actually covered in the care. But I'm
I
totally
assure you,
okay
sir,
with that.
and you can check out this 47-page contract for more details. That won't be the case with our establishment.
Alvis
We
like
have
looks at
locations all across Toril on 7 different continents.
7. I thought there were 2. Anyways, Alvis will look at the other ones and be like, "Oh, this guy's a genius, don't you know?" And what's it gonna cost me?
Well, it would be the standard price is 150 gold to lay down the enchantments, and then if you throw in another 50, we will do everything we can to restore your book to its nearly new-like state. And no, we will not be casting a simple mending spell upon it. Spell books are particularly tricky to restore.
Alvis will happily he reaches in the giant pouch that Jenna just gave him filled with gold, and he like awkwardly is pouring it out on a counter trying to count the
Mhm.
he doesn't deal with large sums of money a lot. He probably miscounts like 5 times before finally he like pushes across what he thinks is 200 gold. It is, and but yeah, it's like an ordeal for him to do that, and then he just kind
We'll
of
get started on this at once. Please take this. They hand you a silver coin that has the holy symbol of Joachim, so her beautiful face on one side, and I believe it's some scales or something.
Yeah,
I think the
it's
coin itself is the holy symbol. Yeah. And says the coin will alert you when your product is ready for pickup.
and when my table's ready, I'm sure. Okay.
I haven't heard that one before, so very clever. All right.
Albus will head out and just kind of sit outside.
Okay. Anyone else have any questions before we wind down the session?
Can I see if you have any better armor than what I've got?
Yeah, sure.
We're broke, bro.
Yeah. I'll be honest, they're not with a seaside town. They are not stocking like heavy armor. But they have medium and light armor of a +1 enchantment available. And I believe the cost of such armor would be the cost of the armor normally plus 3,500 gold to get.
Okay, we're not that rich.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're
Wait,
just
how
looking,
much? How much was it?
3,500 gold.
Yeah, bro. Not even after we sell these 24 daggers.
Well, I didn't know. I don't know how much stuff costs. I'm just,
Yeah, no,
like I said,
that's cool. That's
armor
cool.
to browse.
Yeah. If you are just looking for something flashy, they do have in stock right now studded leather of smoldering.
So that was that gonna up my charisma?
No, it just looks like you're on fire. Yeah, just wisps of harmless, odorless smoke rise from this armor while it is worn.
I'll just stick with what I got.
Okay.
Because now, if it up my charisma, so if I could be like, "Here comes the smolder," that
I got you.
But no, I don't want to look like I don't want to look like Pigpen. Thank you. I've got nuts, but I don't want to look like a pig.
All right, fair enough. Any other questions for Quartermasters of Joachim? Otherwise, we will assume that as long as Afra does not journey alone, she and the people she takes with her can make the long ass trip tomorrow to pick up Willie. Yeah. And yeah,
Gerda would have stayed in a hotel room, not came out for the whole day, and just worked on his weapons.
Nice.
Trying to make it
was there Mariner's armor there by any chance?
Ooh, yeah. The staff gets a big smile on their face, like, yeah, boy, knew we were smart, seaside town. Yeah, Mariner's armor. Yeah, they do have different suits of Mariner's armor available. Again, in light and medium. It is the standard cost of the armor plus an additional 500 gold for the Mariner's enchantment. And that's the one that makes sure that your body is easy to recover if you pass out in the water, and I believe gives you a swim speed. Yes, no, or is it? Just
I think so.
Makes you float. So.
Wait, what?
I had a bunch of PCs buy them in a session right before going up against Black Dragon. I think it's swim speed.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Yeah, with this armor, you have a swim speed equal to your walking speed, and in addition, if you start your turn underwater with 0 health, you will float 60 feet towards the surface. So yeah, it is definitely nice if you're planning to do any sort of water activity. Keep in mind that having a swim speed helps so much in underwater combat.
Yeah, what is this armor called? I might have to pick this up.
Mariner's armor.
And this is as like underwater rules still mess with me. So like Bryn's a Triton, so he has a swim speed,
Yeah, he has a natural swim speed.
and so pretty much he can wear full plate and just swim around like for fun.
Mhm.
Biggie. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, we lost our Afras. Oh, PHO just said they lost audio.
Oh, okay.
And
We're
I think
back.
Sorry.
there they are. We can hear you guys
Internet.
Ew.
All right. So sounds like you guys. I'll post this this information. I'm gonna update the handout essentially. So where it says Captain Zendros of the Faithful Quartermasters of Joachim, I will also add any relevant information to that as well.
Yeah, how much we never got to say how much was left over from the hiring crew and
Well, they haven't finished hiring yet.
repairs. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's
Yeah,
still
all that money
Yeah,
went
just
into the
let
kitty, and we'll see if there's
yeah,
anything left over.
yeah.
yeah, just let us know how much is
Mhm.
left over, if any.
But I didn't hear the price on the Mariners armor.
Oh, Mariner's armor is whatever the cost of the armor is, light or medium is available. Add 500 gold. And that does give you a swim speed and makes your unconscious body float to the top of the water, which
So
is
it
very
would-
good because if you're submerged at 0 health, you do
Yeah.
start drowning immediately. So
I would be able to keep, the same traits of as my ring mail, or would it be like an enchanted leather armor? How would that work?
again, they planned ahead when they opened this location, and they figured that light and medium armor of the Mariner variety would be quite popular. So
Okay.
yeah, they have at least one of each type of light or medium armor available.
You said it was 500.
500, yep.
Plus the cost of the same armor.
Yeah. So whatever ring mail would be, if you want to do ring mail, this is your opportunity maybe to switch to a different one if you want to do a different one than ring mail. If you have the money for it.
So what does ring mail normally cost?
Let's see.
Pulling up the PHB right now. Armors and shield, light armor, yeah, medium. Ring mail is 30 gold pieces normally. That's a heavy armor, eh? You wear heavy armor?
Oh yeah, ring mail is heavy.
That's heavy armor?
Yeah. I mean, you know how to use it because you are a fighter.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You might be better suited. I don't know if you have the money, but like grab a breastplate or something so you can add your dex to it. Because ring mail is just straight 14 AC.
Yeah, breastplate's about as good as it gets for medium armor. There's no
Less
stealth penalty.
half-plate.
Yeah, it allows you to use your dex to your armor class. You get a 14 armor class base. It is a little price though, $400. So it would be 900 altogether to get a Mariner's version of that.
Wow, jeez.
You could also go scale mail, which is the exact same statistics. It's just you get disadvantage on stealth checks, and that's only
But
50
I'm
gold.
not a stealthy person.
Yeah, but
That's not my role.
it's more about just being a stealthy person. It's just wearing heavier armor that imposes disadvantage will just give you away. It'll
Two
give
people
away
died.
your stealthy party.
Someone died that way. First session. Or second session.
How
All
much
this-
is the breastplate?
It'll be
It-
900.
total.
How much silver is 1 gold?
10.
10 silver is 1 gold?
Mm-hmm.
Oof. Yeah, maybe hold off on it until.
I think I'm gonna have to wait.
Yeah, I don't think you'd want to invest in the
Okay.
shittier
And they also
armor.
point out
That's just
that they
me.
do purchase magic items. So if you happen to encounter any magic items that you don't need, the faithful quartermasters of Joachim would gladly purchase them from you.
Yeah, I'll hold off. Definitely, I will remember to.
And they can
Remember to come
also
back.
track down magic items if you would like. But they charge a 50 gold piece retainer fee per week, minimum of 1 week to track down magic items.
Okay.
I'll just hold off for now. I'll just keep what I got and
Crash,
just save up some money.
where would I find out how much barrels of wine, mead, dried meat, salted fish, apples, pears, and nails sell for?
Those would be basic trade goods. Let's see.
Because I got 15 barrels of wine, 12 barrels of mead, 2 barrels of dried meat, 2 barrels of salted fish, 3 barrels of apples, 1 barrel of pears, and a crate of nails.
That's
Was that
trade
on the
goods in
ship?
the PHP.
No, this wasn't ship. This was Swamp Ruins loot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Here, I'll link it to you real quick. It gives you a general
Cool.
idea of.
Cool.
I put it in treasure.
And they were what, like 50-pound barrels? I'm guessing.
It was a lot.
Of, yeah, I mean they were big ass barrels. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, 50 pounds sounds good.
Yeah, are my weapons gonna make my pistol crash or no?
Yeah, sure. You could go ahead and get that roll out of the way real quick. All right. So as you're finishing up that roll, seems like we have a lot. I think you guys got a lot done, honestly, RP wise, and setting yourselves up for your next adventure. So if you could think of anything that you want to do during the downtime, if it's relatively simple stuff, we could handle it in Discord. And then we will kind of continue where we left off, and you guys can set sail in your ship and deliver these lizard folk back to their people. So
Pietro would like to do an 80s workout montage so he doesn't get his ass kicked by alligators again in the future.
Sure. Do you want to work out with the alligators? Because they would love to.
Sure.
They are big fans of physical fitness. All right, cool.
Are they going to pump me up?
Yes. They will probably hurt you very badly. So yeah, you are soft skin, so they don't realize, I think, their own strength. As NPC lizardmen, they have a natural armor of 15. So yeah. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and close out the session for now. You guys have plenty of stuff to think about and plan for next week. I do have to ask, Bryn, our Triton, will you be returning next week? Did you enjoy yourself? I know there was no combat or anything because they were just finishing up like a huge combat and then transitioning into a new adventure path kind of thing. But I mean, do you want to keep going or?
Yeah, I like it.
All
I
right,
like a
cool.
nice mix of RP and combat, so it's nice to get my feet wet with this.
All right. Well, combats. I'm gonna be honest. I run pretty easy combats, so hopefully,
Oh,
yeah. Hopefully you don't get too bored. But I
Someone
will
died
try.
first session.
I will try my best to create a challenging combat scenario.
Yeah, but
for
was
you.
that the DM or was that the player?
First session, someone died.
I mean, it's 5th edition D&D. Level 1, you basically die if you shit too hard. So
I mean,
yeah.
he could have gotten healed.
Well, yeah, it didn't help. It didn't help that the party healer ran away. That didn't help. So, anyways,
You made him run. You made him run from centipedes. Like,
I didn't make anyone do it. There was no saving throws involved. That was free will. That was it. Anywho, it'll be fine. You'll have a good time. All right. If that is the case, then we will continue this next week. And if you guys have any questions for me, just hit me up. I will post up XP from Quest Turn-In and all that, and we'll kind of see where things go from here.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right.
All right. Enjoy your weekend or what's left of it, and hope you guys have a good week. So.
Laters.
Cheerio.
thanks, guys.